You call that radio? You call that radio TV? No. You call that radio TV?
This is You Call That Radio.
This is You Call That Radio. That's what she said 4. I think it's the 4th. That's what she said of the year, which has became a kind of monthly, almost monthly, round about monthly night, the Becci Wallace host, which introduced you to a whole range of artists, female artists from the Scotland and beyond. And this is a kind of end of year wrap up that's been called, I think it's FAC 2020. Tonight, the girl who cried wolf, Josephine Sillars, HAVR, Catherine Rudie, Laura Murray, and more to be announced. So we don't know. It's got a special guest. What do you think of this? I've changed the camera. I'm trying to get it all nice for Hogmanay tomorrow because we hadn't planned on a Hogmanay special. It was supposed to be over, but we did hit an incredible milestone the other day during Boxing Day. We had what became a Patreon marathon. Someone dubbed it. I think Ali dubbed it a Patreon marathon. And every time someone became a patron, we did another song. Well, Martin Windybank did a song and dedicated it to them, made a song up about them on the spot. I helped a wee bit. And James Windybank would give someone a minute of compliments as well. So ended up going from 194 patrons to 202. Then 202 patrons. It's amazing. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting it. There's still time to become a patron, of course. If you want to help us build the thing, then it's patreon.com/You Call That Radio. But we said if we hit 200, we would do a special Hogmanay party. So we're going to do it. We checked someone asked how many shows this year. We've counted it up roughly. We think it's about 188 shows since lockdown began, which is a lot. It's a lot of talking. So I'm not going to be talking much tonight. I'm going to pass you over to Becci Wallace very, very soon. But 188 shows this year, which means if I can get 12 guests on the show tomorrow, we're going to count that as 200 shows because nobody cares if it's 200 or not. So 12 special guests tomorrow. We're going to be here live from 5 o'clock. It's going to begin with Mandy Clark of Bomb Scaring Katie Tunstall fame and Roberta Pia of Roberta Pia fame. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a Limp Bizkit lyric challenge, which has probably been one of my highlights of 2020, was when they go head to head and do a Limp Bizkit lyric challenge. It's probably going to get us in trouble from the YouTube robots right from the very start, but that's the way it is. We're going to end the year the way we started it. Limp Bizkit lyric challenge from 5 o'clock tomorrow. And I think we're just going to go all the way through, right through to the bells. Got some amazing special guests. I'm not going to tell you who the rest are. It'll be a surprise. You'll just see a Royal Rumble countdown and then a new guest will come on. We're aiming for at least 12 special guests tomorrow, 5 till after the bells anyway. So, yeah, that's tomorrow night. Just thank you to everyone who's been supporting that. I think we can now go live to our host, Becci Wallace. And yes, hit the share button and support all these amazing lineup tonight. Hundreds of great acts on. It's going to be some live music, some interesting chat. So hit the share button and welcome to the stage, Becci Wallace.
You Call That Radio.
Fucking radio. Here to tell people that we hear you. One God will not allow.
You Call That Radio.
however you want to say it.
You call that radio?
However you want to say it, that's kind of part of the fun.
Powered by our patrons.
Brothers and sisters.
Petra's saying slightly Donald Trump orange tonight, Mark. Have I messed up the settings? Yeah, it could be. Have I put it on Magaluf setting? I might have put it on the Magaluf setting. I can actually change it now. I can change that. Wait. I'll just leave it. I'll leave it as it is now. I think we're ready to get on. What else here? New angle, new you. It's a new year. Happy New Year. For when it comes. I thought my phone speaker was the problem. Oh, was that? Yeah, I did a trial run today, this morning, and it sounded terrible, and nobody knew. Everyone thought their own speakers thought it was me. Yes, name checked on You Call That Radio. Name checked again. Ali, thanks for all your support this year. Amazing. Sugar Cube. Hi, Sugar Cube. Colette's in the house. And I think we can go live to Becci Wallace. How you doing?
Yeah, good man. Hello. Nice to see you. I love your new setup, and I like the Magaluf setting. That was cool.
Did you like the Magaluf setting? See, I'm going to...
That's good. I like it.
I can go more Magaluf, I think.
Like, that's kind of like an April. That's Magaluf in April. Have you got like August Magaluf?
No, I can really... I'll deal with that later on. I don't want to... I'll do this. I'll mess around with the settings during my bit tomorrow. I don't want to take up any more time because I think I've said enough tonight. I've said enough this year. It's Becci. Oh, and congratulations for winning the You Call That Radio Solo Artist of the Year as voted by the audience. Speech.
I'd like to thank 2020 for making me an isolated crazy human that done hundreds of stuff. What else can I say? That's it. Thank you 2020, you shitbag.
It's look at that.
What
about that? Is that too much?
What about what? I can only see my face.
Shit, you can't see
beautiful as it is, like, oh hiya. Oh no, that's good. That's quite something.
That's something, innit? That's
a
definitely...
hang. You did say you wanted to build a hang, and that, my friend,
is
a hang.
They said I couldn't do it. They said I couldn't look like Donald Trump and Magaluf, but I did it. Yeah, Becci, what we got? What's happening tonight then?
Excited for tonight.
Is this the fourth one? Is this the fourth?
That's what she said 4, courtesy of You Call That Radio, which is awesome. And I was actually just reflecting on like how brilliant this has been for me, but it has been really good for me just to like broaden my network of women, and also just to get conversations flowing with other women in the music industry, and so many collaborations and just people getting to know each other have come out of it already. So this is number 4, and I am, like you, Mark, trying to build a hang, so always a work in process. So this time we're going a work in progress, man, get your facts. We're going a wee bit different tonight. We're going to have a wee bit more live music. All musicians, all artists that are joining us tonight. It's the end of the year. We're just going to have a wee bit of reflection, play some tunes, talk about what 2020 has been for us, and obviously you guys can join in the comments, just have a few talking points based around what has been. Well, I said in April that we should just cancel this year. It should just be like the year that never was, and we should just stop all debt and stop all everything, stop rent, stop just everybody, stop everything. Obviously they never took me up on my idea. And we're all a bit worse off for it now, but there you go. Everyone was like, oh, it's going to last 2 months, it's going to last 3 months, it's going to last 4 months, it'll be done by August, it won't come back.
Lasting 10 years. 10 years.
So long that you've turned into a circular blob. How did that happen?
I have put on a few pounds.
A spherical floating blob, man.
Yeah. It's what it is. It's Christmas, isn't it? It's Christmas.
It is.
Who we got first?
So we were going to bring everybody on. We have got the amazing, hopefully they're all here. We've got the amazing Laura Murray.
Yes, Laura Murray.
Yes.
Finally, I'm on.
Hello. Nice to see you. And this is Laura Murray's You Call That Radio first time. So
Welcome
debut.
to You Call That Radio.
it's your debut, your
Thank you.
premiere. Nice to have you, Laura. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
We've got Catherine Rudie as well.
Catherine Rudie. Catherine, who's did a fantastic set at the You Call That Radio Christmas special. She's muted herself.
But that's some
That's
setup.
what 2020 is all about.
That's a cool setup.
And well, Catherine, your set's going to be going to be back on. We'll put that on the YouTube channel at the beginning of the year as well. It's an amazing set. I watched it back the other night. So yeah, amazing. Okay, I'm going to go and I'll just be in the background pushing the buttons. So enjoy.
Thanks, Mark. Cheers. Okay, hello, ladies. We also have Carrie Marshall.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello, Carrie. Do we say HAVR or HAVR or HAVR?
It's HAVR. It's the Scottish word for babbling, which I do a lot of. So I thought it was kind of appropriate.
So none of the stuff I said there.
None of them.
I should have known it was HAVR. All right, that's awesome. Okay, so Carrie from HAVR. I've only ever seen HAVR in print, so it's good to hear. It's good to know. Thanks so much for being here, Carrie. We've also got Josephine Sillars.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
I wonder, hold on, there's a wee bit of buzzy action happening somewhere. Mark, can you hear that?
I don't hear it. No, I don't think so. It might be you, Becky.
What you think I'm buzzing?
Buzzing at your nut. Buzzing at your nut.
No, it's not me. Right. Okay. Right, well, we've got one more guest, so let's get them on first. We've got the amazing girl who cried wolf. They come as two.
Hello! We come as two. Hi, how are you?
Good. Jealous of yous. Getting to hang out with each other.
Bubbling up. We are bubbling up.
That's good, man. That's good for work as well, I guess. Are you guys still working away?
Yeah, that's kind of it. Bubbling up by default and choice, so we can work.
That's lucky. That's super lucky. I'm bubbling up with some that I choose to bubble up with and some that I have to bubble up with. It's so nice to have you all here and joining for the last That's What She Said. I've basically planned this one, as I said, a wee bit more like a gig, so we'll just have a wee chat and then we'll play some tunes. And because we have got some serious buzz happening, we'll do, like usually what we do is kind of pass it round the room. So you can mute yourselves and then I'll shout you, essentially. I shall summon you, and then you can unmute yourselves, and hopefully that will stop the buzz. Oh God, there it is. The wonderful thing. Right, okay, so it's a pleasure to see you all. Thank you, and I'm very grateful to know you all and have you all here for That's What She Said. We're going to begin with our first talking point, which we're going to do after some live music. So we're going to start with some live music tonight from the wonderful Catherine Rudie first. Oh yeah, Catherine, is that a digital setting, or do you have paper onions all over your room right now?
I'll unmute myself. Well, this was courtesy of my boyfriend. So I set him to put them up around the room. They're paper lanterns. And if I'd had more time, I would have found, those little LED candles and put them in. So it's not
wow. It looks awesome. You can tell that you're an artist. It's shining through. So it would be lovely if you could give us a song to just break the ice tonight.
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to change.
And also, if you could turn yourself up slightly, says Mark.
I'm not very loud. Hold on, I'll have to reach over to my Focusrite and do that. Is that better?
sound great to me. I got my headphones in, so everything's super
right,
loud.
I'm about to change my my setting on my thing, so
Cool.
I might go a bit echoey.
So here is Carrie and Rudie. Oh, no sound coming out, Catherine. This is a good start, folks.
How's that? Is it working now? Please.
Yes.
Oh my god. Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So many endings were to begin. Today is bold and forgot to win. Let's stay hard like a bad idea, but only me, you always jump clear. We are the head but not the feet. We are no kindness but belief. We are impressive when we first meet, then fade quickly into you and me. And oh, for the Mobius kiss that will not end. We are a Russian doll of problems, but we can't quite contain ourselves. We are escaping in the morning. We are not embarrassed. It still sells. And oh, for the Mobius kiss that will not end. We are a mattress on the street. We close the door, return the keys. Keep the number that we can't seem to delete. There is no we, there's only you, there's only me. And oh, for the Mobius kiss that will not end. Oh, for the Mobius kiss that will not end. So many endings were to begin. Today is bold and forgot to win. Let's stay hard like a bad idea, but only me, you always jump clear. Oh, for the Mobius kiss. Oh, for the Mobius kiss. Oh, for the Mobius kisses. Da 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 Electric orange.
Woo, 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 woo. See the electric orange bit at the end there? I love it.
Just made me a bit of daft. You know, I never normally play the guitar sitting down. And oh my god, I couldn't get my foot in the room. But it all ended well.
It was very beautiful, Catherine. It's a great song, and it's the electric orange is so in the background of that song when it's fully produced. There's a list of different lipstick colours, just goes through it.
Yeah, it's like I've forgotten them now.
Beautiful.
Like Hawaiian pink, and like urban dusk and stuff. I can't remember them all. And it's like, I put them all the way through, you know, and so they just get this thing that would go like safe word, like that, which is a lipstick, by the way. And Electric Orange was the final one that I've kept because I can do that acoustic.
It's awesome. Thanks so much. Thank you for opening the show for us. That was beautiful. A pleasure to have you on. So, ladies, we shall begin this conversation, then we'll get a wee bit more live music. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about was basically to bounce off. It's all about 2020, and I have called the show "Fuck 2020," but I think we've probably all had some really good experiences this year too, and it's really interesting how, you know, you have a trajectory and then it completely just falls to nothing, but you find something else. So I was just wondering if we could just like reflect on like where we were this time last year, what we were thinking we were going to be doing, like what was happening, where we were going, and then obviously what has become of that. And I'm going to pass it around the room. So Laura Murray, if you don't mind starting, you're right next to me. Is that okay?
I knew I was going to be first there. This time last year, I'm sure I was gigging, you know. I actually was. I was gigging, and I done a gig in the bungalow, and then there was somewhere else, I think in Glasgow. So very different to this year, isn't it?
You were just like, had you put out your first release yet, Laura, or?
I'd had a release out from like the previous year, but no, I'd put out my single "Letting You Go" in February, which was recorded by the guys there from Girl Who Cried Wolf, right there.
You guys get around for sure.
All right. So there you go. That was February. So that was kind of the build up to the release in February, to be fair. Like I was gigging up till that, and then had that, and then had the launch before.
So you kind of give yourself that kind of mind map, that plan of here's the kind of schedule of the way that I'm going to do this. So how did it change for you, if at all, or has it been quite easy to kind of like digitize that whole thing for you?
Like going into lockdown, you mean? It was a big jump because I was gigging kind of more regularly, kind of getting back out there, especially on like the Glasgow music scene, and then so I was supporting a country artist called Laura Oakes and not the Record Factory, where was it? And SWG3, the Poetry Club, that part. Like the week before lockdown happened. So I was really like living in that world that like it's going to be fine. It's not going to be like a big. I was like, it's fine. You know, I'm like trying to like spread the positive vibes. Like it's going to be fine. And then lo and behold, there was lockdown. I was just like, oh no. So I was like, oh, how long is this going to last? And then I kind of like see the reality of things, and I was like, oh no. Not good. So
it's been a
big change, like trying to kind of put all of it into like digitize and everything, and so it's been hard because then I have released my EP during lockdown as well, which obviously wasn't going to be the plan. It was going to be released in the launch night and things, so everything had to be like adapted. But it's been a really good experience though, you know, to. As much as everything's been happening, obviously it's been kind of good for me as an artist to try and see, like, find solutions, you know. So it's been good.
It has been interesting as well. Like, I don't know if you have felt like there's been a carrot dangled a lot of the time for musicians, like especially at the start. They had this kind of, oh well, you know, it'll be a few months, and then, you know, there'll be like support for venues, whatever, and then it was like, you know, festival season's coming up by September, and people started booking gigs like. You know, there was plenty of gigs booked for September that all got cancelled, so they were moved from like March to May to September, and then everyone just kind of went, do you know what, fuck it. This wee box here, that's fine for now. I know it's
I know it literally kept getting moved like 1 month later, then 1 month later, and I was like, I'll just move it to the next year.
I think it's harder for a kind of industry like ours as well, that's so dependent on money when it comes as well, so we're like constantly chasing that that gig and stuff. And I remember the first few people I saw who were doing things like PayPal me on their live streams and just like thinking of really obvious, but like it's almost like when you were doing it live, you didn't want to, I don't know about you, but I didn't want to ask for money. But then obviously, like if you were doing a gig, you would get paid for it, you know, or hopefully at least you would possibly get paid for it, get your bus fare at least. Cool. Well, I mean, it's great to know that you've managed to get that much done as well, Laura, during this time, and that you had such a strong, like, cause when this all started, I had just got married, but this time last year, that was the whole excitement of it all, and then I was pure obsessed with the what was happening in Wuhan. Like, I got super paranoid about it, so I had bought masks and all that by December. Like, I had already bought masks, and I had bought this, I'd gone mental basically. I'd bought like a litre of 90% alcohol and 4 big litres of aloe vera, and I was making my own hand sanitizer and everything.
That's
like,
so funny.
Crazy, right? Crazy human. Like, I just had it in my periphery, so I was already like, Armageddon is coming. But then after I got married, the first thing I did was went straight to London and then went to the theatre, went to gigs, and that was in like the end of February, and then we caught the virus, we think. So, you know, smart behaviour. All went out the window the second that. So anyway, so like, that's cool. Okay, cool, Laura. What about you, Rudie? Because you've made quite a big move in this year, eh?
I have. I mean, this time last year, I just released my album, and so I was gearing up for the year after was going to be filled with gigs, and I had loads of gigs booked and everything, and then it just all stopped. And I was living on a narrow boat, and I was quite far outside of London, and it was really good for writing, and it was beautiful where I was in a forest and everything, but I couldn't do this, you know, like have technology, or there was no way that I could take part in live streams, or I just didn't have the facility for it. And so the whole year I've just spent watching everyone else. I've got some friends who started off with just like one camera. They now have a whole TV studio, practically 6 like full-on cameras, and they've just done an incredible thing in a church, and I was just like, I can just about get my phone to work, but finally myself and my boyfriend decided to move, and so we moved to Glasgow about 6 weeks ago, and so instead of like a tiny little boat, I've now got this fucking massive, this is my workroom, this isn't even my bedroom, it's just you know, like, Glasgow's just amazing, and we've been really enjoying our flat and the ability to make music and do everything. It's been fantastic. But yeah, big change. Can't actually meet anyone, but we can walk about.
And you know, it's nice to walk about, and I guess if you're not from here, then there's lots to see, such beauty, and it's true about those big flats. Oh, is it me that's a robot right now? Yeah, maybe. I'm just going to keep talking and see. So yeah, those big tenement flats, man, they're amazing. Like, I always think when we went to London for our honeymoon, the first thing I did, I'm always pricing places. Wherever I go, I'm pricing it. How much does it cost to live here? Whatever. And like, it's insane. The size of place you can get in Glasgow compared to somewhere like London or other places in England. So yeah, it's good to be here. I got really boring fact about why they're all so big, but I'll leave it for later. It's about Queen Victoria.
This is you've told me this already. I know this.
I know.
I can't ruin it now, though. I won't.
No, it's because basically in the Victorian times, a lot of people in Scotland were dying from what they thought was consumption. So they thought if they like made all the rooms bigger and gave people big high ceilings, Queen Victoria thought that, and gave us park spaces. That's why all the parks have fountains in them, because they're all Victorian parks. Then they would appease us, and we would breathe easier, and life would become instantly better. But it was the pollution, I think. So, you know. Anyway, that's going on to doing music. Sorry.
What I would say though, it must aid people's creativity though, because like it's amazing to have extra space in a way that honestly, 20 years in London, and it's been you have to hire out somewhere to go and practice. You can't play in you know the places that you live in. So it's like yeah, that's why there's so many good musicians from Glasgow.
Yeah, there are, man. There are the creative spaces, I guess, creative communities as well. I think, and that's something I think's been really interesting about lockdown. That I at first was afraid that it would become, you know, it would isolate us all, and it has in many ways. But then at the same time, these beautiful communities have built up, not just here, but you know, Mark's obviously, you know, built a massive community. We've had a big songwriting community. There's been the production community. All these, you know, different there's like the virtual hug and lots of different podcasts and things that are really community orientated and focus very much around the arts. And I think that's been an amazing thing about this, is how adaptable we are. Just like your mates getting like 8 cameras within the space of a few months to get like every angle and make the most of their creative space, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's made some people into absolute like technical fiends and stuff. You know what I mean? Because you know.
Yeah, like things you thought you'd never say, like you unmute yourself, like that would have like maybe at end point been either, I don't know, like a compliment or an insult. Ugh, unmute yourself or mute yourself. Now it's an actual hang, which is all the time. Okay, there's a bit of audio issue at my end. Myself down, no problem. There you go. Always getting told to turn myself down. Well, what we'll do is hashtag patriarchy, Mark. What we'll do is we will move on to some more music. We're going to have Carrie, and again, Carrie, maybe you could also tell us about your this time last year, and you can do that before or after. It's up to you. It's yours.
Okay. I was really excited this time last year because I'd finally got back into music after about 15 years away, and I decided that what Glasgow really needed was an enormous middle-aged trans woman fronting a rock band. So I had all these plans, and I had made this musical family that I was going to spend my time with through open mic nights and all that, and it just all went to shit. And it's been quite difficult because I'm one of the people that doesn't get any sort of government support because I do things through a company. So like all my money went, and I wasn't able to work, and I was homeschooling the kids, and I think the kind of the big thing for me was the Sunday songwriting Facebook group, which for people that aren't aware of it, we would have a task or 2 tasks every week where we would sit and do new songs. We would come up with them, and we would then upload them for the group to do, and that genuinely was a lifesaver. And musically as well, it was really good fun because it encouraged you to take your filter away and work in like genres that you wouldn't normally do. So like I was doing like goth music and country flavoured acoustic and all that kind of stuff, and that was brilliant. I loved that. And you know, Becky, you were a huge driver of that whole thing.
Probably my favourite week, man. Like, oh, the freedom of writing a goth tune, it was amazing.
That was the thing though. Everybody was experimenting with all kinds of different styles, and it's like the whole adamant thing. Ridicule is nothing to be scared of. It's like you knew that if you were going to come in with like some sort of Eastern European flavoured hip hop track, people would be going, "Wow, this is like really interesting idea."
Well, when you start
and that was really exciting.
Away like that, and actually think, okay, well, like, you know, the writing process is so different from the releasing process, and both have merits, but in a space where you can just play about, like you see with anything, play instruments you've never played before, try rapping or try, you know, a cappella folk singing or whatever, you know, like those things it's good to have that space for sure.
Yeah, big time.
But it was totally selfish. I made it for me, and I needed people to support it. So I'm glad to go.
Well, it was so great. I mean, there was quite a lot of collaborations and kind of networking and stuff came out of it as well. So it kind of felt like checking in on your family. And, you know, there was the Zoom stuff I couldn't always make because I had the kids. But that seemed like a really positive thing to be happening when things were pretty bleak, you know, because it was at the height of like the proper lockdown as well.
I remember I had a wee flashback today about, because on the Sunday songwriting days I used to cycle about just before it. I'd go for a cycle and get some booze and then go. And I remember and get ready, you know, for the night, because it was a big kind of festival almost doing it. But I remember feeling nervous going into the shops, and I feel like I've lost that feeling. It was almost a wee bit otherworldly going into a shop then. Didn't do it often. And now, like, I go to the shop every day, but I think it's maybe worse now, the pandemic. But it's like there's been a shift in how we feel about it. So I just had that flashback today actually of the empty streets and the kind of it's surreal, totally surreal.
The first time I walked down Dumbarton Road in lockdown and there was like nobody there, and then a car stopped and two people in like full hazmat suits got out, which I've never seen before, and like I had a full-on panic attack at that, you know. It was like fucking hell. But you get used to stuff, and I think one of the things about the whole lockdown thing, it's really hard to be frightened of stuff you can't see. So see if every time you'd gone out of the flat, the sky was on fire and you had the trumpets from Inception going every 20 seconds, that would have kind of, do you know what I mean? It would kind of make you take it a bit more seriously. But it was a real strange combination of everything looks normal, but there's no people, and you know, there's this thing floating about. But I think that the one thing that's really been hard for me is that it's taken all live music away, because that was like the single most important thing other than my kids in my whole life. It was either performing music or going to see it, and that was like my kind of church. So for that all to disappear and the government to be like really, really blasé about supporting it as well, I mean, the damage that they have done to the live music industry is going to last a very, very long time after all this is over.
Oh, for sure, yeah. We'll see. I mean, the venues that do open again, I'm sure will reap the benefits of it, but in the long run, so many small venues and little niche places that were barely open, it'll be tough. I think we'll see a lot more pop up, and also probably a lot more of an outdoor kind of atmosphere beginning to crop up here, which obviously like other places in kind of Northern Europe have that kind of atmosphere. We don't so much embrace it, but I think we're going to have to start to, just in case, so that we have these things in place. I don't like things that you would never have thought of happening, you know. Now we need to consider. So Carrie, you wrote some wonderful music during that Sunday songwriting, and I don't know what song you're going to start with today.
This is one that I sort of snuck in at the end of the Sunday songwriting. I wanted to write something that sounded a bit like Eels. And last year we put out a Christmas EP, and you know, it was kind of joyous and optimistic and all that. And I felt that this year that I just wasn't in the same headspace. So I wanted to talk about the feeling of being separated from the people you love, and sort of kind of making plans for the future. And my hands are freezing, so if I completely mess this up, I apologise. Reindeer in the sky tonight, no Christmas star, just satellites, no lovers walking snowy streets, no Christmas for you and for me. I miss you. Wasn't dreaming of a quiet Christmas. This was never in my list of wishes. And when we get through whatever this is, I will cover you in kisses, shower you with riches, make you never want to go away again. candles in the snow. No kisses under mistletoe. No Die Hard 2 on ITV. No Christmas for you, for me. I miss you. Wasn't dreaming of a quiet Christmas. This was never in my list of wishes. And when we get through whatever this is, I will cover you in kisses, shower you with riches, make you never wanna go away again.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you.
What a tune. Thanks so much for that, Carrie. It's a really beautiful song. Gorgeous. Laura says them chords. Yeah, it was lovely indeed. Beautiful. Really gorgeous. There you go. Petra says she loves it. Hi, Petra. Hear the eels. Yep. Still unique. Yeah. That's what you want from a tune, right? We both. Am I here? I am. Cool. Just checking because the buzz has gone. The buzz has gone. We've got some comments from Catherine's song as well. Bring them on, Mark. Bring them on. I want to hear them. Lovely stuff from Catherine. Yeah, thanks, Alan. It was indeed. Ah, Catherine. So great to hear you live. Such gorgeous music. As indeed I can hear Claire's voice saying that. West Side says beautiful. Absolutely, really beautiful. Both beautiful sets today, ladies, so far, and looking forward to the next round as we go round the room. So thank you so much for indulging the live element of this particular evening. So yeah, we've got 2 more comments for Carrie. Just fire up there, Mark. Alan says that was superb. And great wee show. Thanks, that's what we want, Ali. Doing a great job. Cheers. We usually get into our kind of like our flow around about this time once we work through the tech issues a wee bit. So this time last year, I know it was very different, and you're right, that's like the great kind of almost like the lung of us all taken away, not having the live music there. And not having that, especially festival season for me. Josie, you're probably quite similar, and I'll let you talk about it, man, because I know like we kind of know each other at festivals. That's where we first met, but we've never really met till this year properly, really.
Yeah, it was weird doing a summer without festivals. I think it was the first time for me in about 6 or 7 years that I hadn't done a festival, so it was very bizarre.
How did you fill that void, man?
Well, it kind of I did with I was actually at uni, so I've just finished my master's. It was a year long and went over the summer. So this summer I had already said to myself that I wasn't going to do festivals. I was maybe going to go to Takeover just as a punter, just for fun, but I wasn't planning on playing any because of the course. And then this happened, and now all the people that were booked for 2020 are getting moved over till 2021. So I've accidentally robbed myself of festival season.
Oh no! I'm sure they'll add some additions. Don't worry, don't worry. We'll find a place to put a stage up, and we'll put it. We'll make it happen. Don't worry. Congratulations on your masters, mate. So, what's your masters in then?
Thank you. Is just in creative music.
That's it. That's a nice vague qualification. Goes a long way. I always feel covers a lot of CV criteria.
Yeah. Because my undergrad is in Scottish literature. Now that I live in England, I just changed that to just literature, like on my CV, because it's a little niche.
You get a wee raised eyebrow, like, pray tell, what is this Scottish literature you speak of?
It just makes my CV come across as like kind of wanky and pretentious. I don't know.
Not at all. But I understand why you might feel that way. So what were you doing this time last year then? Is it Bristol you're in? No, it's Leeds, isn't it?
Leeds. Yeah. So I had actually kind of just moved here this time last year. I've been here about 3 months. Yeah, and I was just that's a weird thing as well, is I've now known everybody that I've met since moving here longer in lockdown than out of lockdown.
Yeah.
Which
well,
is
you'll have got to know them better in lots of ways,
so I guess lots of Zoom calls, but yeah, this time last year, just similar to everybody else, I had gigs booked. Because my course had just started, I was like preparing for my first round of like exams and stuff like that this time last year as well, and I was playing in a band with a girl, she's from somewhere in China, I can't remember where, but with her and the guy from Hong Kong as well. So we were all in a band together this time last year, and they were way more concerned about coronavirus than I was, because they were getting, messages from relatives and things over there when it had just broken out in Wuhan. So I remember first hearing about it from them, like when we were in rehearsals, but not realizing at all how it was actually going to play out.
Yeah. I think we've all got, I think everybody has an inbuilt natural desire to think the best as well. Like, it's what keeps us alive, isn't it? Like, if you just total catastrophize all the time, which I'm sure we all have done as well at points in our lives, but that is not a healthy way to exist. So we just kind of go, it'll be fine. It's like our brain's just like,
you can't really comprehend something that big, I guess, until it happens, can you?
Yeah. I would say, I'm petrified of flying to the point where I have to breathe into a bag and shit. And I've been all over the world, but I'm like a nervous wreck. And I mean, maybe this is self-deprecating, but I see it as like the highest form of narcissism, that I'm that scared of it, because it's so unlikely that it would happen, but I've convinced myself that I am important enough for it to happen to me, and then I take that on, and then also just become, but that's the thing that's my fear, which I've not had to worry about this year, because all our holidays got cancelled, which I was secretly quite happy about. Don't need to worry about that for another year.
I watched a TV show recently where the premise is a plane crashes and these girls end up on an island stranded. It was really good, but after watching it, I was legitimately saying to my flatmates, next time I'm on a plane, I need to get my phone and a battery charger into a waterproof bag, keep that on my person. I need to have this, that, and the next thing. Because next time I fly, when am I next going on holiday? Realistically, let's be honest.
Oh, mate. But yeah, make sure you've got that stuff with you, because lots of people survive plane crashes and end up on islands somewhere. Thank God for telly. Oh, that's crazy, man. Totally. I think we do manage to kind of keep ourselves calm, I guess. And it's I've also found something really interesting about this time, as we've all seen, we don't need to go into it in detail, but as it's become quite binary, hasn't it? You either think it's happening or you don't think it's happening. So you're either in a camp where you're willing to accept that there might be some danger, or you're in a camp where you're like, do you know what? Fuck off. And I can understand both sides of that, to be honest, especially when it comes to the more finite details, especially when it comes to how governments are handling things, and where funding's going, and the stuff that matters on both sides. But again, I think that's something to do with those of us who are kind of more maybe pragmatic, and those of us who are more impulsive, and if you're somewhere in the middle of those two things, then you kind of get tossed and turned from both sides. So I have waves of being really, really, really angry about this, and then I have waves of being a little scared and kind of just everyone stay inside and follow what the government are doing. And in our house, blasphemy as it may be, now and again Darren will hear words like, they're doing as good a job as they can from me, and he'll be like, don't say that about the Tories ever. So anyway, I've went off on a tangent, which I like to do. Sorry, Josephine.
That's okay.
So yeah, big moves for you, big changes this year, and I'm sure you've picked up lots of new skills and kind of random things on the way as well.
Yeah, I learned GarageBand. That was my thing that I learned over lockdown, was very basic GarageBand.
That's all you need.
Yeah, my new EP was completely recorded on GarageBand, and get this, parts of it were recorded on 2011's version of Reason. Because that's what my flatmate just happens to have. Do you know what I mean? So like, it was proper basic recording, I guess. We're really happy with how it sounds like, but like that's kind of the thing I've done this year, is make new music. But learning to record was totally a new adventure.
You know, people that are really polished producers often like find it hard to get that lo-fi sound.
Or there. Where's Audrey and Lauren trying to play to them?
I'm sure you guys don't find it hard to get that lo-fi sound, but that can be a problem sometimes if you like. It's like drummers who don't play the drums are really interesting drummers because they've not learned the way to do it, and they're just like, all arms. If they've got rhythm, they're interested drummers. Like, it's the same with most instruments, piano players who don't know how to play will play differently, and then when you're a producer and you don't know how to produce, I'm finding the sounds are all super weird, but sometimes it can be quite helpful as well because you have a totally unique sound in that sense. And that's an interesting segue onto our next two guests.
They're the best producers ever.
I could just feel when you were saying, Becky, isn't it so interesting when it's someone who can't play drums starts playing drums? I can actually feel Audrey's body go, like, do you know what I mean? Just like, no, it's not interesting. It's awful. I hate it so much. So good. I know my bum was just like, oh, I hate it. Yeah. Oh, great. No stellar technical proficiency. Yay. So good. No, it's really interesting what you're talking about, because actually we've seen such obviously, to echo what everyone else was saying this time last year, we had a different understanding of what our year would be, both as a production duo that run a studio and as a band who kind of had our sights set on kind of trying to build a wee bit of momentum, which we hadn't really just got going in 2019. So we kind of had hopes of getting out and sort of realising a live set, which we didn't think about too much with The Girl Who Cried Wolf. All of our writing was done in a studio. But once we kind of got into the swing of lockdown, just like Josephine's talking about there, like so many people started to really crave that autonomy at home of writing and creating. And for us as producers, there was no stigma or no kind of turning your nose up at file formats and stuff. We actually had a really great experience with loads of new people, loads of new artists and collaborators that were like, listen, we need help. This is the most basic version of what I've got, but I really want to make something. I really want to work towards something. And it just became so important. And actually we felt, I suppose in our own way, it did feel like, and again with communities that we were part of and that everyone on this chat has been involved with, it kind of did feel a wee bit like you'd earned your key worker badge a little bit. Not that you're out saving the actual face of it, which is, it's different though. I really did, I think both of us talked about how we wouldn't just sit around and be like, oh, hopefully, by August, hopefully by this. It was what can we do in this time for ourselves and also for the community that we're part of? And I think our work in this sort of pandemic has really been in response to some really brilliant work that's kind of been happening throughout our scene really quickly as well. I mean, I don't know, Becky, when did you set up the songwriting group? Was that in April
or something like that? Yeah. And then...
Yeah, because thinking back, you're actually just kind of creating communities that obviously just feel so we just know them now and we're just part of them. And when you said it initially, let's talk about this time last year, I said to Audrey, I was like, how weird, we'd never seen any of these people on Zoom before. But now I'm just so used to seeing your face like this. It's just weird. It really is bizarre. But yeah, I think for us, our year's been defined by collaborating with people in a new way and actually appreciating that. Yeah, that we might not have all the resources that we want, but you just adapt, and it's been really fun to work with people in that way.
No, that was awesome. Audrey, you'd like to add to that?
You're here. No, I'm good.
I'll pretend to be an Audrey now so that she can say something. I'm just like,
I am in the bubble too.
No, I think you hit on something really interesting there about like there's always this. I mean, I guess it's the next talking point really, what we're going to go into, and it's just about you kind of learn something about yourself quite quickly when you're put in a situation of high pressure or stress, like we all do, and there's no right or wrong way to deal with things. But I think for those of us with creative minds, like the devil makes work for creative minds essentially, so we do kind of find ways to develop our craft somehow. And the really interesting thing for me, and Carrie, you might have felt this having kids as well, was like I finally had time to do all the things that I wanted to do. So like before I had my kids, I had built up a bit of a rep as being a communitarian and like being about and working with others and being accessible and collaborative, and I was writing on that rep for about 4 years without actually being able to cash that check in that much, because I had kids, and when I was cashing the check in, a lot of the time it was actually substandard in a lot of ways. I was walking, I was talking the talk, and I was kind of crawling the walk, and just like hoping for the best. Because of the kids. So there was this really interesting thing that happened, a really shift in dynamic, a paradigm shift in my household, where I was suddenly in a position where not only did I have the time to do the things I do, but I had the time to learn to do it right as well. And it just it opened up my world, and I think that's maybe the next talking point that I'd like to go over with folk. And it's this, I think we're all probably slightly different people from the people we were when this begun, but I don't like to stop, right? And I'm like Lauren, I like to talk like you do too, right? I will fill empty space with noise if you give me the chance. I'm not saying you always do that, Lauren. I certainly do that, right? I'm doing it right now. So it's like I'm spaff until the idea comes. But actually what I'm doing a lot of the time when I'm talking and working and boosting about and driving about and, going to people's gigs or doing backing vocals for someone or doing this or doing that, is I was just avoiding the silence. And having the lockdown has been a roller coaster, but it's been really helpful to actually allow myself to learn that part of myself, which is you can't move, you can't do things, you can't go out. You're going to have to actually sit down and face your shit and prioritise it in some way, no matter what way that is, because otherwise you're going to go mad because you can't do the normal things that you would do to procrastinate or to, change the subject or put the spotlight somewhere else, so it became a bit of a habit for me. So I think that what I've learned, as much as I still, can't shut up, is that I need to take time for myself, and when I don't do it now, I can feel the difference in the two people that I am, and that's for someone like me, it was something I always knew I had to do, but it's taken this to allow me to actually do it, which just reminded me of a ridiculous meme, but we'll not deal with that just now. So we'll move. So have a little moment of reflection, and we'll have some more music, and then we'll maybe have a wee think about what have you learned about yourself during this time. Honestly, do you feel if you've learned that you're fucking brilliant, then that's great, because I think a lot of us needed to learn that too, and that's totally valuable too. But yes, it's allowed me time to actually work and think and put effort in, which I don't think I was doing before. So Catherine, Rudie, I'm going to segue somehow into another song from you, my friend. And so you're muted just now. Phrase of the year. She knows.
I know I'm muted. I'm going to mute myself, change my sound, unmute myself, start.
Okay. I get some background music. Oh, she changed the sound. Oh, she changed the sound.
You can all hear that now. That's good. All right. I changed this so I can play the guitar properly. Right. So I chose this just because of what you were just saying, and I wrote this earlier in the year, and it's based on I used to walk past this poster in a bookies every day. And after a while, it really began to speak to me. So it was like, right. Ooh. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops. I've been alone on this boat for days. Can't think unless I'm walking at night. Relearning what used to be my old ways. Still stupid at midnight. I need things to be quiet, but I want something to appear. I need things to be silent, but I want someone to hear. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops. What wants, won't get. What wants, won't get. What wants. I know I've found underneath the lies, this is how it feels. Oh, I found the feelings real. Oh, I found underneath the lies, this is how it feels. Oh, I found those feelings real. I need things to be quiet, but I want something to appear. I need things to be silent, but I want someone to hear. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops, stop. When the fun stops. What wants, won't get. What wants, won't get. What wants. Don't trouble. Don't trouble. Don't trouble. Don't trouble.
Strange mood about
You call that radio?
makes coherent sense.
Oh, Kathy, that was beautiful. But then I just caught Audrey there, just like quickly covering her mouth. She tried to have a wee sneaky crisp caught on cam.
Oh, crisps, that's a good idea.
That was really beautiful, Kathleen. What a gorgeous song.
Thank you.
Really gorgeous. There you go. Oh, good. Hold on. Robson Mac. I nearly said Robo Smack there. Robson Mac says, great tune. a great tune. It really was. Big Robo Smack. Cheers. Daniel would like to know who you are. I said.
Oh, sweetheart, you've met me before.
I know. It's changed days. That was. I love how you start with the chorus essentially as well, like starting with hook. Yeah, that's a big fan of that trope.
I didn't know it was a trope. But
well,
do you know the thing about it though that's really bad is like I remember being at this gig once and it was a band and they said like every single song they went we wrote this in something and it's called cheese sandwich, and then they go cheese sandwich and then the next thing we wrote this on the road and it's called like car wheel or something like that, and then it'd be like car wheel and it was just every single song the very first line is the title, and so whenever I introduce it I get that in my mind and I just can't see it, I can't see what it's called because otherwise it's just it just reminds me of yeah.
It's okay to have one of them though, Catherine. Like, it's all right to have one song that does that.
That's true. It is the only one.
I love how that gig made you go, I will never do that. It was just like, that will never be me. Oh, fuck, I've done it. Shit.
Honestly, now I've said this, you will spot this all the time. I swear to God, it's like, it comes up all the time.
It is a thing though, isn't it? But I think, like, one of the things that I find hardest to do is titles of anything, making up a name for something, like what's it going to be called, and then does it sound right? So I can understand why people do it. They're just like, just call it cheese sandwich, fuck it. I know. That's it, it's over. Right, well guys, I don't want to break the party up completely, but we've got a special guest in the house, and it's the last That's What She Said, and this woman has been at every single That's What She Said. So she just won You Call That Radio Poet of the Year, and I think it would be awesome to hear that poem. How do you feel about that?
What's up, mother, father,
funkers? It would be, That's What She Said. Do you call that Mel? You call that Mel? Without shell toe Mel. You call that Mel?
How are you
doing, Mel?
Well, I'm actually really quite sad. I don't want to egg the vibe, but just I found out today that one of my huge inspiration, Shabadoo, passed away today, so it's a really sad day for the dance community. But apart from that, I'm all good. I've been dancing down the skate park, so I'm all good.
I think one of the things, I'm sorry to hear about that, Mel, but it's one of those things now that person will live on in legend as the legend that they were. Yeah.
Totally, that affects so many. Like, you probably know them, like Shabadoo from Breaking, the movie. Like, that's so inspiring, man. But aye, rest in peace, man. So how are all you? Splendid mofos!
Well, you just need... We're loving life. We're just kind of reflective. That's what she said. Always rocking it. Right, so listen, Mel, you've just come straight hot off the press from being You Call That Radio's Poet of the Year for your amazing poem. Yeah. And I just think, it's fucking work. You deserve it, my friend. So I would just think, we could shake it up a wee bit because we're just about to go into reflecting on, us. A bit of insular existential reflection. So maybe before that happens, a bit of shell toe Mel. I just feel like it's the right time.
Cool. He's ready?
Yes.
Right. What's that noise, man? Anyway, wake up, your eyes are wide shut. Wake up, you're stuck in the rut. Wake up, you've so much to give. Wake up, it's time to live. Fix your glasses, shake your asses, standing up here, having hot flashes. Decadent, overspent, struggling to pay the rent. Rules are bent, strength was lent, then became irrelevant. Wasting paper, papering over the cracks. Material grew, understanding was lax. Diatribe hit me and bounced right off. The cocktail was sexy, no Molotov. Untapped dictionary, laying dormant. Untapped vocabulary, ready being informant. Why history? His story is a mystery. Her story is relatable. Her story is the image of me. Belated, outdated, cremated remains. Your ashes are all that are left from the pains. Lived 1,000 lives in one body. The inside invaluable, the outside shoddy. Once a month hit the depths of despair. A few days later, not a care in the air. A dangerous time for the female persuasion. A downside for being the mothers of creation. I'm extraordinary. Yeah, that's ordinary with extra. How did one become so important called Alexa? Not even human, a talking box. Come back, CB radios and wind up clocks. I recognise the dip of serotonin in the brain. I recognise the change from normal to insane. I reckon what's needed is a time out. Come on, people, help me out. Lock her up, she's a crazy witch. Lock her up, we do not need that bitch. Lock her up, I think she's lost her mind. Lock her up and chaos you will find. Divine feminine energy keeps us on an even keel. You know you wouldn't exist without us. You know the deal. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. How about putting a bit of Mars in your penis and blast some good energy out of that dick? Then you wouldn't be such an arrogant prick. Yeah, I said it. It's that time of the month. Your face I could normally handle. Right now I could punch. My normal civil mouth is a barrage of expletives. If I could fast forward, I would and delete this. But I won't. I say it out loud. Freedom of speech, stand up, say it proud. For all you ladies struggling, keep your head up. Kick the negative at bay, kick it into touch. You carry the spirits of those that came before you. You're the future, you're the light, shine bright, we adore you. Wake up, your eyes are wide shut. Wake up, you're stuck in the rut. Wake up, you've so much to give. Wake up, it's time to live. Live, people, live.
Yes, Mel. Fucking hell.
Brothers and sisters, may the peace that can only come from the one God be upon you. We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us as people of conscience to lose our morale.
Powered by our patrons.
For goodness sake, Shelter Miller. It's lovely to have you here, Mel, and I'm glad you're back to health as well. I know you've recently had the COVID.
Yep.
So welcome back to the land of the living. And that was a good. I enjoyed that wee medley there. Absolute belter. Hang about, please, because you could probably do something else near the end of the convo, and feel free to chip in as well if you fancy it. We're going to go into our next. So we were just talking about kind of where were we last year and blah blah and lockdown and all this stuff, but what about now? Like, we're in a place now where we've all been on a wee journey. So I think Laura's sorry, I can't speak. Laura's going to kick it off. And just something you've learned about yourself, or a new skill that you've learned, or something that you've developed within this time that you know that you've had time to do to curate, Laura.
So you know how you were kind of saying before, like a couple of the songs there, that you've kind of had time in lockdown to, you know, like find yourself, and you've had time to kind of like learn things about yourself, you know, that you thought that you needed, and this kind of gave you that time. It was, for me, it was like the opposite. So I was like, as you say, like to keep going. So like at the start of COVID, I was like, what can I do to help? What can I do to like genuinely help people? So like I signed up for NHS to be like an auxiliary nurse, which is basically a nurse without like the qualifications. So it's like a band 2, where you basically like assist all the nurses, like qualified nurses, with everything. So for adults, it's like all like the personal care, the cleaning, looking after the patients, and for the children, it's kind of very similar. So just basically like what could I do that was within my qualifications, basically, to help. So I signed up for that, and so I started like as soon as I got through and things. I started like working with adults. I seen like COVID. I seen a lot in the hospital. So that for me was like incredibly like eye-opening. In terms of like the sights I seen, the restrictions, like family members passing away, family members not being able to come to the hospital to see people, the number of deaths, just everything that I'd seen in the hospital. And then I started working in the children's hospital, which is what I kind of wanted to do at the start, which was good. So started working in the children's hospital in like a particular ward that's very close to like my family, so it's quite good. So just been like trying to lift up the kids' spirits throughout this time. Obviously, it's scary enough being in the hospital as a child, but being in the hospital during these times with all the restrictions has been like even more difficult. So just been doing that, but also that's kind of helped me reflect on, because I've been kind of going through this kind of like self-reflection like journey of my own for like a year or so. So this was kind of the most eye-opening and the most testing, I would say, for me, because I've been able to like discover strengths that I never like knew I had, and then I've been able to put that like into my music. So it's been more of I've not had the time, but then I have had the time, if that makes sense. Like this experience is giving me so much like ammunition to put in to like my music and things, and it's helped me grow as a person, but not in the way that like this time last year I wouldn't have thought that I'd be growing in this way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's absolutely amazing. So much respect for you doing that, Laura, and just, you know, going, okay, what can I do, and that being it, and putting yourself right on the front line. It's amazing. Well done. Thank you. I guess is all we can really say. Like,
no, it's been great.
Yeah, and interesting how obviously
I've absolutely loved it. Like,
go for it, Laura.
Sorry, what were you saying? No, and you go. It was delayed for me, so I didn't know you were speaking.
No, I was just going to say, like,
right, sorry, on you go.
It kind of weirdly affected you, the way you thought creatively as well, because, you know, like we have this kind of natural urge to write about what we see and feel and what we understand, and obviously you've just like created a whole new spectrum of understanding there by going and doing something so important. It's really, really interesting. It must, you don't need to get into this if you don't want to, but it must get you pretty annoyed, man, when people say that this is like not real, or that it's being overplayed, or, you know, all the stupid things people say. Sorry if you're one of those people, you're not stupid, but all the things that people think because they can't see it, you know, and we do. I think we all have that little chip that goes, it's not bad, it's not as bad as everyone's saying, it's not, you know, and so you're right there and you can see it happening, man. It must.
It's definitely like awful, and I think sometimes like not obviously not the worst thing, but one of the worst things I think is seeing like family members' reactions and things, because obviously there's a lot of restrictions, especially for like the older people, like they're not allowed in to see your family member kind of things, and it's just not, it's not a world that we want to be a part of, you know. And I think there's so much going on in the hospitals that like people don't see as well, and it's not really broadcast as well, so there's definitely the sites, but I feel like musically it's helped in terms of like the only song I've ever written about another person's point of view was a song called Daughter, which was from like my friend's mum's point of view, but it was because I was very, very close to like the whole, like the people involved in things. So I feel like this has helped like musically in terms of I've seen a lot from other people's point of view. I've seen like their heart and their pain, and I'm quite like an empath. Like I always feel as if I feel other people's pain. So to kind of see everything that family members have went through in the hospital, patients and things, because it's been a very varied age group of patients as well that I have worked with like the whole time I've been there. Obviously now it's more children, but at the start it was a wide range of elderly from 30 all the way up to like 90. So it was really, I mean, at the time it was hard, but it was great to, you know, see people's point of views and to really hear them, and then to be able to kind of think about their point of views when I'm kind of writing my own music, because as you probably know, I always write like about my thoughts and feelings, and that's how I always write my songs. It's always about from my point of view or how I felt in a situation, or like an experience. So I feel like this has helped me in that way, think about, you know, other people's pain, and that everyone's like battling their own demons, but like just to say like, who's to say that mine isn't as bad as theirs? Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's been great that way to like really just sit back and see that from other people's point of view. So, but yeah.
Wow. You've had a really full and busy year, like it sounds like, Laura.
I know,
like,
usual for me.
Pretty constant. Yeah. And good in a lot of ways to have that connection. Straight in my brain just starts going, right, okay, once this is over, Laura, you could totally take music in there with the kids you're working with, and like, you know, and bring music into that scenario on a more long-term basis, because, you know, it's so I think in a lot of the front line and like third sector places where people work, it can be really uplifting when a member of staff is also creative, and like it's like it can be a really interesting hidden thing. So like even in schools and stuff like that, if you're like a teacher but you also do music, then you're given so much more, because you can highlight like a different aspects of people's recovery as well.
I was actually just about to say that, like being a musician and being kind of creative actually has really helped me, especially in the children's ward. Like from staff, kind of what they've kind of fed back to me is like they've never had like a kind of person in my role that's been like musically, like I'm more music that ever was like being a nurse, if that makes sense, because this is quite new, like the nursing thing. So I was able to kind of in certain situations kind of like judge situations and then try and bring my music into it, like what, like even just like what song do you like, how's this going to help, like just kind of things like that. So yeah, it was really good to kind of be able to kind of bring like my creativeness into it and just try and figure out different situations with that. So that's been really cool. It's amazing how it can help as well, you know.
Absolutely. Oh, for sure, man. I think like we've probably all looked into it a little bit through our time at UWS and stuff, just about how you know, it was one of the most kind of research topics in for the fourth year, but about like the links between music and memory, and obviously music and recovery, and just that whole world of connection that is like a separate plane, the tonal plane from the conversational plane. So there's things that people never forget. It's like muscle memory when it comes to music, and obviously the same applies for, you know, personal recovery and stuff. And certainly, you know, lucky. I was thinking like we're so lucky to have it, because those who don't have it, maybe they've got another creative outlet and that's great, but our creative outlet is so commercial that it's encouraged so much, you know, and we just have this channel which is always open for making noises coming out of our face, was essentially what it is, but and it's so accepted, you know. That's amazing. And Laura, thanks so much for sharing that. And there's Tommy Clark saying,
oh, there he is, the
my
boy,
most talented guest in one place. Thank you, Tommy Clark, nice to see you.
Tommy.
Thanks for tuning in. He's great. Next up with Tommy Clark is a great wee place to get your music played and shared as well, so get in touch with him, folks listening, if you haven't. Cool, Laura, thank you. I'm going to segue on to Catherine Rudie.
Thank you so much.
Here, thank you.
I think I feel like I was the opposite in a way, because I felt like that I was very removed from what was happening. I was still working the whole time, and so for me it was like it was a very abstract concept, and I was in an area that was very badly hit right at the beginning, right just outside of London. And I think for me the thing that I learned, basically, I mean it's, you know, but it's to do with music, is like that since I've started writing, I originally learned to play the bag. I was like a bagpipe player in a pipe band, and I couldn't, which is not an instrument that you can write songs on, and I had to learn the guitar in order to write songs, but I've always had a very bad relationship with the guitar, and I've always seen it as an imposter that I've had to fight with in order to get to where I needed to be. So I wanted to write songs, but I didn't really want to play the guitar live. And I found that the time that I spent on my own, I played the guitar every single day for the first time. And slowly over that time, it became like I got to know it, and then I stopped fighting with it. And then I started to play it more and more. And then I think, to be honest, I don't know, now it feels like I'm not pretending to be a guitarist, or I'm not pretending to be a musician. It feels more like, well, you might differ if you just seen me play, but yeah, it's become a much more kind of personal connection. And then very recently, and I know I was there's another folk artist, Josephine Sillars, and I think like you probably don't know her, but we sort of got chatting online about like how she felt about the guitar, and she'd always had a guitarist play and she would sing, and how recently but she always did play, she just underrated her playing. And I don't know, I think for me that year of hardly having anything apart from work, a boat and then the guitar, and that's all I could do, and recently I've bought myself a proper guitar. And I never would have done that before. I mean, I had a good guitar, but it just, you know, put something in, it's a nylon stringed one, and it's just like, and yeah, it's almost as if I've grown into music because I've had the time to do it.
It's so lovely, Catherine, and it is really interesting to point out that kind of moment of self-realisation, like we go from, I'm someone who does this on the side, to I'm someone who does this, and like, so there's always something with everything, and yeah, like, I mean, you've always been a great guitarist, but I can totally understand, empathize, if you will, with that feeling of just feeling like, yeah, it's good, is it good enough in your own head? And it's actually as much a psychological leap as an actual physical, technical leap that you need to make.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a classic imposter syndrome type, you know, like feeling, but like if there's what, like, I think it might hold. I mean, I've started music much later than, you know, like than a lot of people, and honestly, I think that's the main thing that held me back for so long, was feeling like I didn't really know enough, or I wasn't good enough. And I mean, you can't generalize, but it probably is a tendency more in women than it is in, you know, like men, and yeah, I don't know, having the time without having to gig, just to work on the craft of it, and really get into these minute sounds and stuff. I've probably gone like really wonky now and guitaristy.
I'm sure you've not. If you come up with like a big spiky electric and put it behind your head like Steve Vai and start thrashing away.
That'd be great. Or like, or 17 pedals. But why not? That's the thing, you know. But yeah. But I mean, I don't know, because now I'm looking forward to gigs, like in a way that I used to get very, very nervous before gigs, and now I feel a lot less. I feel like I'm prepared now. I've had time to prepare, but yeah, could end now though, to be honest. That's gone on quite a long time.
Well, it has, yeah. Like, you're now prepared, and so now you're just bored. Is that what you're saying? You're ready to do a gig?
It's like the longest practice period in history. Just think how many musicians are going to be shit hot by the end of this, it's like the standard will have gone right up. But
oh, big time. No, I've had a couple of very, very lucky moments where and you did last week as well, at Capture Works, of actually being on a stage.
Yeah.
So we've only done it twice. Once was at the Icebox, just absolute legends at the Icebox, and they were doing Noise Gun, and I did their second Noise Gun, which was awesome. And it was it actually cried a wee bit. I had the same experience when I went to the cinema the first time after the first lockdown. It was so basic, such a basic thing, but being on stage, the lights went out. And you guys might not know Ian Diamond, you might know him, but he was my only audience member. It was one guy just like loving it because it was a live gig as well. And like the whole thing was being mastered into the desk and the PA was on, and there was one guy about 50 yards away from me, the other side of the room. But it was magical. It was so magical. And I'd never, I mean, I love gigs, but I appreciated it in that sense for so long, you know, and it felt like, oh God, it's a cliche, isn't it? But that's something I totally took for granted. And I do remember gigging with you, Catherine, and that would be the one, you know, like, you know, such a brilliant performer and you've been singing for so long, but when the guitar come out, the shakes would come on, you know?
Yeah. I really did physically hate it. You know, like I actually put it in the corner of my room and I hate you. But I think it's just, you know, like, it's ridiculous, and accepting it is like accepting a part of yourself that wants, I don't know, I won't get one, but you know, it's just like, yeah, it's changed, definitely changed. And I mean, also I think there's like the girl who cried wolf, I'm sorry, I don't know your individual, Audrey and, but anyway, sorry. But you mentioned that you wrote your music without the intent, like you hadn't thought about gigging when you did it, and then, you know, like, and it's like a secondary thing. And I think there's some people that love to perform and then they write as a, you know, like almost as a, not secondary, but it's like, and then there's people that write and then they don't think so much about performing. And I think I'm definitely that. I just thought about the writing side and did it. I found performing, especially initially, incredibly difficult. And but yeah, you know, now I really miss it, and I understand I understand fully how important it is in a way that I don't think I did before. Yeah,
absolutely. It's like if this is a rubbish metaphor, but like writing's like going to the gym, and the performance like doing the race, doing the competition. And no, it's not competition, but it's like the thrill of participating in the arena, you know, and being around others who are doing that too. And it's got screaming children in the background, so I'm just going to very quickly segue round to Carrie. And it would be lovely to hear a song, Carrie, but you could give us a chat and then do a song after that if you like. It's up to you. Because I know you also have been using the Icebox bit of a crutch, like I did for a bit, to keep the performance alive.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had the Ian Diamond audience experience as well. If it's going to be like one person in a crowd, that's the crowd that you want to have. I think the thing that I've learned this year, other than I don't follow through on any of my promises. I was going to learn Spanish, I was going to practice the piano, I was going to practice the drums, did none of that stuff at all. I learned enough ukulele to write a song, and then I thought, right, that'll do me, that's as much as I need to do. But I think the thing for me was appreciating just how much I need people. And on a purely musical point of view, that it's not just like the guys in the band, but like the interaction you have with other members of the musical community, and going to like see other people play and coming away buzzing from what you've seen them doing, or even just the chat sometimes between the songs, not necessarily the musical stuff, and the whole kind of like found family that you can end up with you know, when you do open mic nights, or where you go to venues like the Icebox and take part in things like Noise Gun, where your horizons are like totally expanded. And I think, you know, being trans as well, it's even more important, because that was quite an antidote. Like, social media is really toxic. We've seen that social media is really toxic in terms of COVID denialism, conspiracy theories, anti-trans activism, and all the rest of it. And actually spending time with my like found musical family was proof that the world is not a shite, hateful place, and that people are fundamentally decent and welcoming and all that. So to have that taken away has been difficult, and you know, when we get out of this, I'm going to hug my pals long past the point where it's like awkward and uncomfortable, and they're saying like, right, that's enough. I'm good now, because I'm just touch starved. Do you know that? Just seeing your, like, going to gigs, seeing your pals, big hugs, all that kind of stuff. And just to lose all of that, you know, I'm never taking that for granted
absolutely,
again.
I totally agree with you. And also, there's like, we're all obviously adapting to this world in boxes, but at the same time, I understand that the longer it's like this, the more we lean to social media, which perpetuates these, you know, these horrible things, and on every angle perpetuates the worst of us as well in the long term, because we you know, interact and we you know, if I've posted 10 times on social media in a day, I'm having a bad day. Do you know what I mean? And it's there for people to see, like, even if it was like, hey, you know, like, it's probably a bad day. And that's really, really interesting, Carrie, because there is absolutely no one I've ever met in person that I've not been able to be civil with. And there's so many people I've met in person that I have just wanted, that it's just been amazing, you know, or it's totally, you know, walls have fallen down, or you know, the opposite. But even in those moments where we meet these difficult people in person, we can walk away from it, you know, and we can turn around and walk away from it, and that doesn't happen here. It's perpetual, you know, and that's such a toxic environment. So, but here's the thing, we will all get to hug each other again, we will. And I'm a hug as well, man. Like, I'm like awkward, it's awkward, you know, at points. It's better now because I'm not always drunk or stoned, but like when I was like, you know, younger, I would just like touch people, and, you know, I just was a toucher. Not in a weird way, just like, you know, a bit too much touching, that's all. So yeah, and so I guess for you, it'd be like the continuation of Carrie and HAVR and the band moving forward back in that musical community. Do you think you might hit some of the festivals this year, or, well, next year if they happen, or have you got a plan like that? Yeah.
Probably next year, yeah. I'd really like to, because we were just getting started. Because I've spent years just writing songs by myself, and to get back into the band thing, and, you know, back into the routine of rehearsing, building up a live set, and getting to the point, you know, where you feel that you can do this as well. I kind of think, I used to have like really, really crippling stage fright, and that was one of the reasons that I stopped being in bands. And you know, when you've walked down Socky Hall Street looking like I do, wearing a frock, that kind of recalibrates your fear meter. So I don't really have that stage fright anymore. So there's a big part of me is like, you know, I just want to be on stage now, and, you know, this kind of thing is great. I love doing it, but it's just such a different vibe from actually standing up on a stage in a room full of people and sort of having that adrenaline rush that you get from it, I think. But it's going to come back.
Yeah, but it's electric. The vibe's electric, and it's always what you make of it as well, isn't it? Like, you can really feel something during the gig, and it's totally like, not, it's subliminal. It's something, even if it's like a gig that's not going well or whatever. Like, there's a power that happens between the audience, and, you know, whether it's 2 people or 40 people, and it can be good or bad. But the feeling, man, that adrenaline, yeah, we need it back, and we'll get it back. Like, positivity.
Totally. I wanted to pick up on something that Catherine said as well about the whole imposter syndrome thing. I volunteer with SWIM, Scottish Women Inventing Music, which is, it's all about trying to achieve gender equality in music. And one of the things we looked into was Fender did a thing, and it found that more than half of the people who buy guitars are women or non-binary people. And then when you actually look at the number of women guitarists that there are, the number is much, 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 much smaller. And, you know, I've played for both teams. I've never felt like an imposter on guitar, or that I didn't deserve to be on stage, because I was never told that. You know, and I'm pretty crap at playing guitar, but, you know, there's this kind of socialization thing that goes on where, you know, the most mediocre men, and I was one of them, are just basically told, yeah, go and do it, you know, you're going to be amazing. And I think there's an element that women are kind of talked out of doing stuff. I see that process happening to my daughter, who's 13, and there's people telling her what she can't do instead of what she can do, and that's something that hopefully is going to change. I'm seeing quite a lot of changes, particularly grassroots stuff and what we're seeing coming through swim and stuff. But it's like it's hugely common amongst talented women where they just don't feel that they're as good as the mediocre guys.
For sure. And it's like it's subliminal, isn't it? Like that process you're talking about learning, about learning what you shouldn't do without it actually ever really being said. But it's a very subconscious and visual thing as well, isn't it? Just like, especially I think you're right about there being a generational shift in that attitude from the female perspective too. And we've actually witnessed it on That's What She Said, like different generations of attitudes will be more forward in their in their ways of thinking, but there's certainly, I've felt that feeling and always having a guitarist with me and and just so no, you're totally right about that. And interesting to see it from both perspectives. And then this is the next stage, isn't it? Now we've got our daughters. And it's like you want to give complete freedom to experience the world. Also at the same time, like your experience, you kind of want to impart it as well and hope that can be a guide. It's like a total catch-22 because when I first had my son, who's everything you would imagine a wee boy at this age to be, but my daughter, like I remember thinking I'm going to tell all this stuff and I'm going to be completely truthful and honest about my life with her, and I'm going to, this and that's going to shape her in a way. But now that I've had her, I realise that I'm just totally freaking out, and that might not be a good idea.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, I'll never lie. But I think you do, it's a strange world, it's a strange balance as well between the two. But then we've had this, like, I can remember the first That's What She Said, there was like myself and Yvonne Lyon. We're talking about like this fear, this stage fright, and then we had like Amelia, who's a generation younger, who just was like, no, fuck it, you don't need to have that shit, just do it, man. And I remember thinking, well, that's a really, really positive sign for the kind of future of female creatives, coming forward. So let's hope so. Now, Carrie, you going to give us a song?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hope I'm still in tune.
Mark, do you know what's all on me at the moment? I mean, I'm loving looking at myself. Narcissism in that.
That's better if I switch it on, This is a song that I usually do with a full band, but I've been doing it quite a lot at open mic nights, and it's coming from a similar place to Darren Loki's Don't Do It, where it's, when you kind of reach the very bottom is the time that it's a wake-up call. And in my own case, I was going to throw myself off a bridge, and I came out as trans instead, and that proved to be the right decision. But we've lost a number of people that were close to us who've taken their own lives, and this song is kind of about that, and it seems to connect with people. And it's like what we're saying about like missing people. I miss playing songs and seeing other people get it, and having people come up afterwards and talk to you about it. And this is one of the songs that did that. So this is called A Moment of Clarity. Terribly sad for a long time. Been drowning your demons for what feels like a lifetime. There are places to go for what you wanna know. God knows I've been there too. But the world can't turn without you. This is a wake-up call. This is a moment of clarity. Please don't leave. When it has to keep on, when it has to keep breathing, lean on resurrected script. There are things you decide when you're too sad to cry. God knows I've been there too. There'd be nothing good in this world without you. This is a wake-up call. This is a moment of clarity. Please don't leave. When it hurts to keeping on. When it hurts to keep breathing. Lean on me.
Educate our children to take their place in the economies of the 21st century. How do we do that? Given that we can't anticipate what the economy will look like at the end of next week. Every country on earth is trying to figure out how do we educate.
This song is called To the Water, so I'm a new album. Wish it all away. Waste it all away, blind. Wish it was the same. Wish it all out of our lives. I go down to the water. And I'm in love again. Stone. I go down to the water, and I'm in love again. Stone. That all stays the same. You and I were always bound to die. Take it all away, tracking all my veins out my mind. I go down to the water, and I'm in love again.
Cheers.
You call that radio, more like a TV show, TV show, on almost every night. It's gonna be streaming live.
Oh, hi everybody. Well, she was good, who was she? Yeah, well, no, that was actually quite a good performance. It's all thanks to you, Nova Sound Belters, for actually providing me with the soundscape to be me in. So thank you so much for that. So, hello everybody, we're back from our lovely break there. This is You Call That Radio, That's What She Said. All these belters are with me tonight. After this conversation, and we're running the schedule, so about 9:30 we're going to have a gig. So we're going to have a Girl Who Cried Wolf, we're going to have Josephine Sillars, we're going to have Laura Murray playing sets, pre-record, so hang around and enjoy the amazing music. And I'm sure a few of you, this has been was this your first pre-record? I think you maybe done one, Josephine, before? Or it's quite a good way to do it, I think, to be honest, because
I've done one other pre-recorded gig off the top of my head that I can think of, but I have been doing live stream shows throughout this year. If I'm being honest, I think I find the pre-recorded ones more challenging. I don't know why, because you gave me the option to do it live. I was like, I'll pre-record. And I find them more stressful, I think, because you have the option to go back and do it again if you make a mistake. And you can't do that live. You just have to get it right.
That's true. I try to like a live gig, but what I do is I overdub it. So I record it into my DAW, and then I have to go back and overdub it, and my video software is a bit shit. So now and again I'll like not get the lip sync quite just perfect, and it seems fine at the start of the video, but by the end it's not good. So you have to like pure snip it and cut it, and yeah, so it's harder in a lot of ways. DAW life, yes! Hashtag DAW life, get that up, that's a belter. That's it, man, it's just on more life and DAW life, that's it. That is a classic banter. Well done, Lauren and Audrey, thank you for that. It is tough, but I must say what I do like is because I do a lot of looping and stuff, not so much now that the girls are providing me with a world, but if it goes wrong, it doesn't go wrong, essentially. So I've always got that fear, even sitting here when I'm doing a gig, that it's going to go wrong. And then the live performance takes that away.
I'm sitting here feeling worried about when the live performance is going to play, because I'm like, oh no, what if something happens? And it's like, nothing's going to happen. You've already done it. I feel like more anxious about the pre-recorded ones than I do about the live ones for some reason.
I guess it's taking another element of that electricity away as well, I guess. But for someone that's got a big, massive sound, like, it can be a better way to go, can't it?
Yeah, that's fair. I think after doing this EP I've done, which is quite heavily on the production side, especially for me, because I haven't really explored that area much before. Yeah, I'm excited about it, but it meant like today one of the songs in the set is one from the EP, but obviously because it's just me and my bass player just in the house, keys, bass and vocals, it's very stripped back and very, very different. So I was playing it today and I was like, it's the same but different. Like learning to play a song live that you wrote in a recorded I wrote them at home and recorded them at home because of lockdown, but I suppose a more studio type setting is weird compared to writing a song for playing live.
Yeah, I get that. I used to get the fear of, don't have it now, but I used to be in a band with Rebecca's Ruin, she always wanted to use backing tracks, and I would just be like, no, it's all live and real and it's nothing. But like, I'm totally over that now. I use backing tracks all the time, and it's so helpful. Because like, if you made the backing track, then you're still playing the song.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? Like getting that headspace where you did that. It's not like someone else's. I used to apologise for them, mental.
See, I think I'm going to need to explore that in the new year, converting the stems, I guess, that I already have into backing tracks, just to get the fuller sound. I think I need to investigate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, there's a beautiful thing about quite stripped back acoustic as well, but we can never hear how good our own work is. I think as well, like never value your own work in whatever space it's in. Like, oh, it's acoustic, it doesn't sound right, but other people might just beautifully written song. I'm going to very quickly just thank you, Carrie, for that last tune. That was beautiful, super powerful as well, man. And I could totally feel crazy indie vibes behind that, like Foo Fighters vibe I was getting. Maybe not what you were looking for, but that's what I was feeling. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And we'll move on. And the next person is of course Josie, so you can continue and let us know what you learned about yourself this year. And we'll all mute ourselves, and that's what's about to happen. That was quite passive aggressive, wasn't it? And we'll all mute ourselves. Okay, cheers.
Yeah, so I think what I've learned this year, see, when Laura answered and she talked about actually going to help nurses and work on the I suppose what the papers were calling the front lines and all that, that's like legit good work that is incredible and amazing, and I'm just like, I just stayed inside and wrote some songs. It's not really it doesn't feel like it has quite the same gravity, but I suppose this year I did just really throw myself into music, I guess, being a student for the majority of this year. And like I finished my course in September, so through that first lockdown I was still at uni, and then I got furloughed for a bit as well, so that was kind of an opportunity really just to have space to work on music, which I hadn't had before, because before that I've always been the type of person to be working loads and doing music in around jobs and just constantly trying to fill my time with things. And I think as well, because I play live a lot, I feel more like a live musician than anything else. So this year was an opportunity to get back to writing and get back to creating, which I think was really good and really needed. And I was also very lucky to get funding for the first time ever. Like, I've applied for funding so many times and I was finally successful this year, and it just kind of felt like, of all the years to get funding, this is like the perfect moment to really just knuckle down and get creating.
Oh, absolutely, and it's funny, isn't it? It's such a quagmire, the funding world. Like, just getting into it, and it's brilliant that you got funded again. Also, I did this year too, so I totally understand. Really lucky. And I've got a friend who's an actor, and she was saying to me, her and a couple of her actor friends have got this really good business idea, and they were like, "So what do we do?" And I was like, "You can get funding." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, you can get funding, like you can go and say your thing you're doing, you can get funding. And I think like there's a mad stigma around funding for a lot of folk, like they won't apply for it. I've never applied for funding until this year. I had to apply for the hardship fund, and also I know, and I got this, didn't get the first one, but I got some for the second one, thank goodness, because it was just getting to Christmas. But obviously I work with Rosie Band, she's a legend, and she got us funding to
wizard.
make songs happen, you know, and so thank God for that, another positive of lockdown. But really interesting you say that, Josie, and I think that there's sometimes maybe a stigma around like, oh, if I just get funding then I'm just going to make art, that's it. But actually your job is to be an artist, so you need to do that, and you need to get yourself the you know, the support that you need to be comfortable to make the art, you know, as well. So that's brilliant. And your new EP is called Unknown, that's right? And
no, so the EP is called Desperate Characters. Unknown was a single. Unknown actually isn't even a single. The single's coming out in January. Unknown was a song that I wrote at the same time as the EP, but it just literally doesn't fit. It does not fit the EP at all. Like, the EP is a total concept EP and has its own thing going on, and Unknown was just sitting there completely different to everything else. So I was gonna not release it at all, but then the last Bandcamp Friday of the year was coming up, and I was looking at my bank account like, I've got that one song sitting there doing nothing, so I put that one out, and then that was nice. But it was quite funny because like Mark played it on the show and he thought it was one from the EP that he's heard, and he was like, it's a different sound for Josie, it's a different sound, and then it was exactly the same sound as before. But like, the new sound's coming.
So Unknown is like the red herring in a lot of music. Like,
I literally only put it on Bandcamp to make money. That was the motive behind releasing that. It was purely financial.
That's life, man. You've got to do it. Well, it's a beautiful song. I really enjoyed it, and it was a totally different sound, man. Like totally different, which is really great. I'm looking forward to hearing more of your awesome work very shortly.
Well, it's a thanks to your songwriting workshop, I will say. Unknown, I'm one of the ones that's going to be in the pre-record that's on the EP. We're both written in your workshop, so thank you.
You know, you're welcome. You wrote it. Just provided a Zoom box, that's all, and talked nonsense about music. Okay, so thank you so much, Josie. And we're just coming to our last round, but before that we have the Lauren and Audrey, and you guys, you've had a really interesting year actually, because you were together at the start of the year, totally together, and then thrust apart, and then you kind of like had to make do, didn't you? It was really interesting watching how you were adapting your studio from like completely different places, and then back together, and then thrust apart again because Audrey, obviously you got unwell.
I got the Rona. Aye.
You got the Rona.
But yeah, I guess like we're another pair of people that benefited a lot for the Sunday songwriting group, because I think it got us both being creative individually, and I think because we have the studio and we're working full time like as musicians and writing for other people or doing production, teaching, everything that we do is amazing, and we're really fortunate for that. But sometimes, as the same as everybody's saying, like you end up putting your own creativity to like the bottom of the list. So obviously I can't exactly speak for the both of us, but I know like for myself, like especially my own songwriting, like that's like beyond the bottom of the list for me. So the Sunday songwriting group really helped push me to kind of do like some stuff, a handful of songs, and it kind of makes high at 3. Thank you. And I think it's definitely something I kind of want to do more of, like as a wee target for next year, is maybe to try and get a wee EP or something of my own just to put out there, just as a wee kind of thing to learn.
Oh, it's the first I'm hearing about it.
So I'll be on myself next
time. What's the public breakup?
At Audrey on Instagram. So but also like I get like for us, yeah, with the studio we couldn't be in together, so it meant that we were both like alternating. It was actually, now when you're talking, Becky, about like how cautious you were like at the beginning and everything, like we were literally Dettol in the studio, like each time either of us left, and then now we're sitting beside each other, but I think it's still in my system and I'm not contagious. So we're okay.
You need to be more open. There's so many secrets. I can't handle this. I was under totally different terms and conditions of this whole evening. What is happening?
Oh no, I'm so embarrassed. Sorry about this. But yeah, for the studio, like I think leading on for the song, this is what happens when I answer. But leading on from I was both doing the songwriting group stuff, it kind of ended up changing the way that we write, like for the band. So we'd put out like a few singles last year, and I think we had like one new song that we'd done this year, and because we were alternating in the studio, it kind of ended up being, instead of like me like being a drummer producer and Lauren being like the songwriter producer, it kind of ended up being I was doing a wee bit more of the production, and then Lauren was coming in and sort of developing all the vocal arrangement and mixing, which we hadn't really done anything in as much detail as that.
I think as well we were constantly trying to innovate, like we were chatting about earlier, like how to innovate and help different artists that we'd kind of just started working with in our own stuff, has always been the sort of testing ground for working with new kind of software and plugins and stuff. And actually it just became, particularly the very beginning of lockdown, I think for like a thread that's running through the conversation tonight is just that like identity. And probably after hearing Laura's chat, I just want to retract referring to myself as a key worker. And that was just a turn of phrase that happened. I'm actually not quite sure why that happened, but literally when she started speaking, I was just like, oh my God. But like, I think at the beginning, when we actually think about being an artist, you were like, what is my job here? Like, what is my role? You know, you really, really lose your way. And I think for both of us, like being apart as well, you were kind of like, we kind of need to keep structuring our like week and stuff. And then again, like that's why initiatives like yours came along so quickly, and were so important. So I think for us, as much as like we wanted to develop as a band, we really felt passionate about developing as producers, because we were going to really need to try and dig deep and innovate our business to keep it afloat. So I think we've used The Girl Who Cried Wolf this year really as an experiment that's allowed us to kind of have some really interesting collaboration with other artists. And yeah, we've put out some music that we're really proud of, like because of that. What a riot! That whole answer was just a riot.
There's been banger after banger from The Girl Who Cried Wolf. That's locked it. It's been awesome, man. I think that's interesting about the kind of inner workings, because you touched on so much stuff without even meaning it there. There's so many layers to being an artist now, and like some of it is like there's the personal need to create, which keeps us alive, right? That's important. That's part of your mental well-being, is like being able to create, you know, or finding outlets where you can be creative in whatever way that is, you know. And then there's the cogs of the machine that make it work, the production side of it all. And yeah, maybe key worker is a bit of an extreme term, but at the same time, people need music, people need art. That's what, like, it's not just a flimsy, you know, self-promotion, self-centered thing. Art is what people remember. When you're gone, art is what people remember. All of us, you know, that's what it's about. It's about architecture, it's about poetry, it's about history, and how do we view our history? We view it through art. And like, I think this one of the worst things that's happened, I feel personally, to all elements of art, but very specifically music, commercial music, is that we've forgotten that actually there is power in it that is very much a community. We've experienced it just by having to go through the process of lockdown. What have we done? Well, we've not went. Of course, we've had time to promote ourselves. We have, but that's not all we've done. You know, we've forged bonds and like created a community. So there's definitely, you know, I don't want to go on about my hill, right, but this lassie called Andrea, it's like Cher, Andrea. She's a comic songwriter, but the other day she posted this thing up, right, and it was like, she does a cover every week. She does a cover every Tuesday, right? And I just met her through the Unsilent Night thing, and she was one of the last performers, and I was hosting. Anyway, so she does a cover every Tuesday, and she posted up on her Instagram, I'm doing this cover of this song that I've just found out Becci Wallace sang. And she played a song, right, from when I was 14 that I wrote and was on a CD that I had forgotten I'd written, never heard. I've not heard it in, I'm 34, so I've not heard it in 20 years. I'd forgotten all the words. I'd forgotten it even existed. I'd forgotten I'd even been in this band that was called Sudden Comfort, which is embarrassing. But you know, so, but it had, she'd remembered it this whole time, and like she was like, oh, this song, you know, it means this to me and that to me. And,
good night, Mummy.
Good night, darling. Love you.
Oh.
It's okay, come say good night. It's all right.
That's so wholesome.
You can say good night. So those are things you don't think about, right? You don't think about those things, but your music can have a massive impact. The place you would least expect it. And trust me, no offence, Andrea, but that song I wrote was shit. I was 14. No, I'm only kidding. That was a joke. So yeah. But these things do matter, you know. So, and music is just so vital and so important, you know. Look how successful, for instance, this channel has been. You call that radio. People want to be part of something. They want to be part of a community. You know, it doesn't. What's the point otherwise? So yeah, sorry, I've now went off on a tangent based on you saying that you went on a tangent, but I don't think you did. I think that's really important, and there's all those layers to how we communicate through music, and we live in a world where we must make money, so of course we're trying to make money from music, but we're also participating in a community experience that's so valuable and is helping. I mean, look, I've, you know, Josephine, Carrie, and even you guys, like the Girl Who Cried Wolf, we've all got to know each other through this process, do you know what I mean, a lot better. So these things are really interesting. Anyway, shut up me. So, like magic, we're on time. I don't know how that's happened. I'm not saying it's because I'm at the helm and not Mark, because I thought that I'd be on time the whole other 3 times. I was totally like an hour late with everyone. Maybe it's because there's less women, and this format, my friends, might work better with less people. I think probably that. So we're going to have 2 more live songs. We're going to have another song from Catherine, if you've got it, and if Carrie, if you've got another one, that would be amazing. And then we're going to take a wee break, and we're going to go on to our gig. And ladies, you're welcome to stay. You don't need to stay for the whole thing because you've pre-recorded it, but of course, if you want to stay, that would be amazing. But I just want to say personally that this year has been the year, well, I released my album, obviously present tense, and that was very much about me understanding myself as a mother. But this year, lockdown has given for me a much more visceral understanding of the importance of keeping other women close to me and having that. So I just want to thank you all for participating in this, which, you know, it came out of some things were getting a bit messy in the scene and stuff, and there was some bad blood, and I also read this article about how women were flourishing under lockdown, and that's how this all started. But it's been so amazing to have such a brilliant network of women to draw from and listen to, and I really appreciate talking to you guys. And I know I talk a lot, I learn so much every time we do this, and I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate this happening. So thanks for being here. So that's all I've got to say about that. That's what she said. We're now going to hear another live track from Catherine Rudie. Yay! Oh, fuck 2020.
Do you want it?
If you don't really know what's going on, there's a show that also doesn't know what's going on. Call that radio TV. You call that radio. Call that radio TV. You call that radio TV.
Working out the maths of music, formula of sound. Starlands move in unison, black cloud rising like a hound. He works his feet across the keys, he's dancing out the chords. When the stops start to sing in ones and zeros, the most complicated thing until the telephone exchange. The moving parts will make you cry until you're past that grieving stage. There's a congregation hidden in the fields, 1,000 years of feelings. This is how it feels. They buried their father in compassion and self-defense. Read the complicated story in Spanish and in French. Sometimes you just want something simple. Sometimes you want grace notes in the sun. Sometimes you just want something simple. Sometimes you want something simple. Sometimes we want grace notes in the sun. Sometimes we just want something simple. Sometimes we want
Woo. That was beautiful, Catherine. Thank you so much. Gorgeous. That beautiful voice of yours, eh? I just love it. So glad it's in Glasgow. Reachable almost, if it wasn't for lockdown. Tommy Clark says, really enjoyed tonight's show. It was so good to listen to the artists I already know and to be introduced to the ones that I don't ... yet, which almost sounds like a threat, Tommy, but that's fine. We'll look forward to that. Yeah, get in touch with Tommy Clark. I love these stripped down songs. Yeah, they're beautiful. Ali, thank you for that comment. Yeah, it's great to hear them. There's a place for all kinds of acoustic sounds. John Smith says, brilliant to see so many talented and unique performers and creators together. Shared sense of community even as we are all physically remote. So true. So true. That's so true. Alan says, brilliant stuff again, Catherine. Just all coming in. Oh, yes, Colette. It wouldn't be a That's What She Said without Colette. Good bunch of quality lassies, so inspiring, truly, bro. Love you, baby doll. Love you too, Colette. Thank you for your comment. Amazing. Thank you so much, Catherine. That was brilliant. Beautiful. Facebook user.
I know him well.
Oh, thank you so much. So we're going to go to our last live performance, apart from, of course, our special guest, Shelto Mel, who's here, bringing the vibes. We're going to go to Carrie for Carrie's last performance. Thank you so much, Carrie. Thanks for joining us, closing us off for this section.
Thank you. I thought I would do a song that was actually written in lockdown, about lockdown, and you kind of forget looking back at it all that, you know, at the beginning of this year, Australia was literally on fire. It wasn't just the pandemic. So this is kind of about sort of bringing a bit of class war stuff to it. It's like the people with the money and the power are making everybody else pay for their consumption. This is called It's Not the End of the World, but you can see it from here. To the hands made to me, before we recognize the price of a life built on greed. Half the world's on fire while the other half drowns. They partied so hard, they put us all in a lockdown. Product
ties, the manning of the fortunate few. They took everything they wanted, erased the ground in front of you. So the end, shite of the world. Something better on the other side. Let's build something better on the other side. Build something better on the other side. Build something better on the other side. Sorry about the mistake.
Yes, thank you, Carrie. Belter. Cheers. Don't apologise for the mistake, Carrie. Don't apologise.
It wasn't the end of the world.
Exactly right. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. It's so nice to hear you like this as well. So I've only really heard HAVR fully produced up until now.
Thank you.
But it's great to hear you. I'm looking forward to seeing you all and working with you all. Here comes Facebook user again saying great song. Thank you, Facebook user. Alan says these shows have really helped make this year bearable. That's great. It's been a real struggle at times to cope as I live by myself, have limited contact with others socially. Exactly. So well, we are glad you can be part of that, Alan, and I know you're an avid You Call That Radio participant. So yeah, glad that that's been helping you. We forget about those folk who are on their own, and again, maybe just need a wee bit extra community spirit around them, man. It's so important. Guys, it's been brilliant. Thank you so much. This is stage one of this last You Call That Radio. Fuck 2020. Over, but it's not the end. It's not the end of the world, and it's not the end of this. We come back with some amazing pre-recorded music from The Girl Who Cried Wolf, from Josephine Sillars, from Laura Murray, and let's hope Shell Tomel will give us some of her amazing vibes as well. So we're going to take a wee quick break. If you need to go, you may go. Okay, no one's going to judge you. So if you need to go, we understand. Thank you so much for joining me, for indulging me, for being part of this. And participating in That's What She Said. And I have a vision of 2021 being like a That's What She Said year, where we get a stage and we do things and it's big and it's live and it's conversations and it's live music, and that's going to happen. So thanks for helping me plant the little seed. That's been great to have you all. And yeah, so I think we're going to take a break now, and then we'll come back with some sweet tunes. Peace and love, everybody.
Yes, we are. I'm here. Yeah, no, everyone's doing amazing, brilliant stuff. I need to just get the Dropbox link. The Dropbox link I've got is to request files, so I'm just getting the next part of the gig lined up. So what I thought we'd do is we would have a song from the Irish Band of the Year on You Call That Radio, Blackbird and Crow, who some of you might not have heard, but I think you will absolutely love. They're incredible. And then we'll come back for the live music, which I believe is The Girl Who Cried Wolf and Josephine Sillars. Is that right?
And also Laura Murray.
And Laura Murray as well. Brilliant. Okay, well, I'll get that lined up. And in the meantime, this is the amazing Blackbird and Crow Irish Band of the Year from You Call That Radio.
A's like a rabbit that's been trapped in a snare. Like you want me to save you. Well, tell me, why are you scared? I'm as big as the moon, but I'll not hurt you, I swear. Sweet wallflower man, I'm gonna treat you with care. If I be the moon, will you be the sun? If I be the goddess, will you be the one? If I be the moon, will you be the sun? If I be the goddess, will you be the one? Ah, gentle creature, what is to blame? Can I unburden you? Can I take your shame? A wild heart sets inside you. Wrap me up in those flames. Let me kneel down and pray you. Let me carry your chains. If I am the moon, will you be the sun? If I am a goddess, will you be the one? If I am the moon, will you be the sun? If I am a goddess, will you be the one? If I am the moon, then are you the sun? If I am a goddess, then are you the one? If I am the moon, then are you the sun? If I am a goddess, then are you the one?
You call that radio? You call that radio?
What about the people who hated on me?
Right, and then I see the disinfectant that knocks it out in a minute.
That's mad, isn't it?
Is this a Netflix thing?
It's actually a podcast.
What the fuck's a podcast?
You know, it's kind of like a radio show.
Oh, that! Radio!
Yeah.
Just popped in there. And is there a way we can do something like that?
I couldn't help it.
By injection inside or
Yeah, I think so because I think just paint in general because I think like my poems and my painting.
No, cut. All right, I think there's been a mistake.
We were just saying it looks like a
I
really
know.
good song. It looks like a banger.
We're going to do some more mime. We're going to do some more mime work in 2021.
Just like you write the song, we'll provide the visuals. You write the song. What do you think it sounds like?
It's interactive.
That's
It's
totally it.
interactive. Okay, take two. Take two.
Hey!
So excited to have the girl who cried wolf.
You hear it?
Oh yes, there it is. Get it turned right up.
It's out of sync.
I don't know how you do it, but I give you so much, and you take everything away. I'm a wreck with a face on using you as a crutch, feeling anything ends up just going to waste. Come with me down to the bottom of the pile. I'll be sitting pretty, painting on a smile. You tell me all the things I want to hear, but when my back's against the ropes, you start to whisper in my ear. You'll never be good enough. You'll never be strong enough. Baby, just give it up. I think you're done. You'll never be this enough. You'll never be them enough. Baby, there's no one who cares enough. You're on your own. I don't know how you do it, but I give you so much, and you take everything away. I'm a wreck with a face on using you as a crutch, feeling anything ends up just going to waste. In my head is where you made a bed but never go to sleep. Instead you dance around my dreams. Everything you say, it takes a space inside my brain, a messy party that no one wants to leave. You'll never be this enough. You'll never be them enough. There's no one who cares enough. You're on your own. Take another piece of me if that's what you desire. Take all that you want from me. I swear I'm still on fire. Take another piece of me if that's what you desire. Take all that you want from me. I swear I'm still on fire. I don't know how you do it, but I give you so much, and you take everything, everything, everything away. I'm a wreck with a face on, using you as a crutch. Feeling anything ends up just going to waste.
Strange mood of our time.
You call that radio?
Makes coherent sense.
I'm frightened, I'm fighting all my darkest parts. I tighten and hope this feeling doesn't last. My arms and eyes are empty. The monster in me's feeling frail. I'm stranded on land without a boat to sail. No one said it was okay you took part of me when you left. No one said it was okay you keep changing channels in my head. No one said it was okay that you take a part of me when you bailed. No one said it was okay now I'm trapped without a boat to sail. No one said it was okay. 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 No one. I'm hurting. Take my hand for your curtain call. Lap up the roar, bow for your crowd to thank them all. My arms and eyes are empty. The monster in me's feeling frail. I'm stranded on land without a boat to sail. Can anybody hear me? Hear me? Anybody, body who? Can anybody hear me? Hear me? Come to my rescue. Can anybody hear me? Hear me? And come to my rescue. Can anybody hear me? Anybody but you. This is my mind, get out of it. This is my space, don't touch this mouth is mine, get your words. Step back, don't speak, don't judge. This is my mind, get out of it. Don't call, don't knock, don't buzz. My world makes sense now that you're out of it. There's still me, still you, just not us. This is my mind, get out of it. This is my space, don't touch this mouth is mine, get your words. Step back, don't speak, don't judge. This is my mind, get out of it. Don't call, don't knock, don't buzz. My world makes sense now that you're out of it. There's still me, still you, just not us. This is my mind, get out of it. This is my space, don't touch this mouth is mine, get your words. Step back, don't speak, don't judge. This is my mind, get out of it. Don't call, don't knock, don't buzz. My world makes sense now that you're out of it. There's still me, still you, just not us. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? No one said it was okay you take part of me when you left. No one said it was okay you keep changing channels in my head. No one said it was okay that you take a part of me when you bailed. No one said it was okay now I'm trapped. This is my mind, get out of it. This is my space, don't touch this mouth is mine, get your words out of it. Step back, don't speak, don't judge. This is my mind, get out of it. Don't call, don't knock, don't buzz. My world makes sense now that you're out of it. There's still me, still you, just not. This is my mind, get out of it. This is my space, don't touch this mouth is mine, get your words out of it. Step back, don't speak, don't judge. This is my mind, get out of it. Don't call, don't knock, don't buzz. My world makes sense now that you're out of it. There's still me, still you, just not us.
An American psychiatrist called it audio stimulation.
You call that radio?
Wake up, work, fall asleep at the wheel, clock watch till you clock off. Pretend that your real life is a box set that you've not started yet. Wait till you binge it, it'll be a smash hit, yeah? It doesn't work like that, kid. You're already in it neck deep, treading water when you've never went swimming. Off your knees and start running on your hamster wheel. Meet a stranger in a dark room and ask how they feel.
We're all starving for something, but we feel full up. We're all ready for running, but our feet are stuck. We're all sick of the same things, but I want what you've got. We want to see things change, but keep our eyes shut. We have learned nothing from history. The world we're in is the one they want us to see. We have learned nothing from history. I want to change the world, but what's in it for me? We are lost, bumping heads in the dark non-stop. Life's like one of those rides when your tummy goes funny when it drops. Is there an end in sight? Let's not look, throw your arms in the air under the strobe lights. And for one night only, I could get to know the girl I could have been if I was more brave, more smart, picture perfect, more tall. But I've heard the more you rise up, the harder you fall. We have learned nothing from history. The world we're in is the one they want us to see. We have learned nothing from history. I want to change the world, but what's in it for me? We're all starving for something, but we feel full up. We're all ready for running, but our feet are stuck. We're all sick of the same things, but I want what you've got. We want to see things change, but keep our eyes shut. We have learned nothing from history. The world we're in is the one they want us to see. We have learned nothing from history. I want to change the world, but what's in it for me? I want to change the world, but what's in it for me? I want to change the world, but what's in it for me?
You call that radio? You call that radio TV? No. You call that radio TV?
This is, you call that radio?
Holy shit, girls. That was absolutely amazing, man.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
So good and so cool seeing it like that as well, if you're kind of your live pre-recorded thing going on. Amazing. The lyrics in that second tune are get out of it, that's an absolute belter.
Yeah.
And you're drumming in that last one, Audrey, holy shit.
I just said that, I was like, look at you, the actual camera was moving about. It's so good.
It was like, that is fire, honestly. Well done.
It's quite the song, like we were talking about before, like the songs were all written with like in the studio, so for each of them there's so many layers of drums, so I was like, I don't want to leave too much on the track, so I was like, I'll just try and play them all.
Why not?
So I was like, whoa, after the last one, but it's good.
If anyone can do it, mate, it's you, that's for sure. That was really outstanding. I'm so excited for you for this year, because I know it's been a bit of a dud and all that this year, but you've got so much done and you're so prepared, and you know that is going to just hit so hard live. It's going to be amazing. Like, and it's so femme as well. It's so femme, and I love that about it as well. It's like so female.
It's so nice to share it with people as well, because obviously other than sharing like the audio of it, it did feel nice to actually play them together, like for the first time, I suppose, as well, even though it's just like in a studio environment, but still it did feel like they were coming to life a wee bit, so thanks so much.
And seeing them, even you seeing them visually like that, really beautiful. Beautiful stuff. We are, I think, if you've not subscribed or like joined or listened to these girls, I'm sure you will be now. Let's hear the comments. Sorry. John Smith says, these rhymes so vulnerable but powerful. Amazing. Yeah, that's the buds. That's the buds for you. Vulnerable, powerful belters. Absolutely great. What did you guys think, Laura, Mel?
I thought it was class. Such an earworm. Like, I'll be singing that tonight, making the tea. Like, loving it. So good. So good.
Good. That's what we want. Tea making tunes. That's what we're going for, Laura. So yeah, bring it on. That's good.
I love that.
Make the tea and then world domination.
Yeah.
That's it. It starts with a cup of tea and it'll be there. It's going. It's
I
going
want to
places,
change
girls.
the world, but what's in it for tea? No.
There she is. There she is.
Oh, Christ.
An absolute belter, man. Brilliant. Deep, says Struthers. Deep. It was indeed deep. Absolute belter. What was I going to say to you, girls? Right, Mark, I'm really sorry. I want to say Patreon. It's Patreon, isn't it? It's not Patreon. Sometimes I say Patreon. I've got problems with this word. But please, guys, if you're enjoying this show tonight, remember, we are being platformed by You Call That Radio, who are absolutely just owning this time in our lives and giving us content. So
sign the fuck up! Sign up!
Mel on the Bob Geldof. There she is.
Hold on.
God damn it!
Rewind. As cheap as you can get the fish and chips deal. £3 a month to support You Call That Radio. And if you're already a Patreon, we are grateful for you because you're making this possible. So thank you so very, very much for that. So You Call That Radio, and you can, Mark, have you got a link for where people can become Patreons if they need to? If they're not already, but who isn't, for God's sake? And I know you've just target as well of 200 in 2020, so we've got 200, so Mark can now buy himself one weekly takeaway. So if you want to get Mark to a point where he can have a couple of Just Eats a week, sign up. You can pay more than £3 a month if you want, folks. If you've not done it already, you've got this content. Right, Mel, if you want help Mark out,
I sign up and then he can pimp his back session artistic, Yeah. I was going to say pimp his ride.
Then speak.
Pimp his place. Come on, sign up. Let your money. Just sign up.
Sign up. Pimp Mark's back. Someone pimp that guy's back.
Hashtag, that is ready to go.
For all we know, his back is pimped. You never see his back. Like, you don't know. Could be Diamantes, Could have a wee. Anyway, sorry, never mind. Anyway, so The Girl Who Cried Wolf. Where can we hear your music? Where can we buy your music before the end of this year? And what have you got coming up?
Well, the link is there. So Bandcamp, as we all discovered this year, is down there. It's the best way to support artists, but it's all on Spotify and all the places as well.
Mel, can you do us a favour and just shout at folk to buy it in a similar fashion to sign up?
See if you don't buy it, I'll come round and swing at you.
That's it.
Don't be stingy, buy it.
There you go. See?
Is it coming out in vinyl?
Mel, see, it's a pandemic. Come on now. Come on.
Come on.
We're going to get copy pressed for you, but that's about it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, girls. So nice to see you. This is my 2020 dream lineup happening right for me. Well, not for me, for you, but I'm enjoying it. Okay, so let's have... Mel, do you want to fling a wee piece of art our way? I think we're all ready for a bit of that.
Before we do, just check out my top.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Go on, girl. That's the one.
For all the mods. Always
for
need
all
to get
the mods.
something.
For all the mods who are also proud and support Pride. Yeah,
More life.
Absolutely.
More life, bitches.
At some life.
Fucking aye. We will not be forgotten. We are the sisters in A Mercy. Hang on. Wait a minute. Can't see. Wait a minute. Rewind it back. Right. Here we go. Right. Can you hear me? We will not be forgotten. We are the sisters in A Mercy. We will say what needs to be said, even if it causes controversy. I'm no timid cowering beastie, got a mouth the size of the Clyde. Come test me if you like, I've the ultimate mother's pride. Boom! Don't suffer full gladly, come sip my bitch's brew. School you, rule you, dead pull you, leaving you without a clue. Bashimi rocking the break beats, Bashimi breaking your dome, Bashimi scalping your ass at the clothes and scalping you on the way home. Ding, 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 ding. Right, here we go. This one is called Retreat. And so I'll retreat. Admit failure, embrace defeat. Living a lie is no mean feat, so I'll retreat. Look myself in the mirror and see a stranger. Well, once I was light, now I see danger. My truth is your lie in a constant loop. Why, motherfucker, why? Cry, motherfucker, cry. And so I'll retreat. Back to where I'm from. Back to my cave. Back where I belong. Yeah, I'll retreat. Away from an unrecognisable world to the comfort familiar before the mind unfurled. Yeah, I'll retreat. Yeah, I'll retreat. Engaging no longer an option. Body an auction for sale. Mind up for adoption. Emancipation of the female. Back to happy where I was complete. The bag was less heavy. Things were unique. Yes, I'll retreat. Yes, I'll retreat. Back to the shadows of my former self. Back to the energy of youth. Back to where there was a clean bill of health. Back to the land of truth. No communication. Yes, obliteration. Near obsolete. Maltreated, defeated, deleted, depleted, defeated. Yes, I'll retreat. Bring it back. This is Becky's bit. Yeah, I'm still here, so I will rise. Shed all of despise, spread my wings and fly. I'm not dead yet, of a strong mindset. Once you meet me, you will never forget. I'm a force of nature, an anomaly. You want easy? Don't follow me. A blast from the past, leaving you with conundrums. You have no grass, you're on to plums. So I will rise, shimmer the skies, but continue to disguise. A trailblazer, stargazer, faker, breaker, under, overtaker. Mixing and matching fabrics, creating a brand new picture. Being an undercover maverick, blending a potent elixir. Florals and camouflage united, opposite ends of the spectrum. Any preconceived notions, you can blow them out of your rectum. Rules were made. Rules were made to be broken. Floors were made to be broke on. Breaking the dance, breaking the trance, leaving the all behind without a glance. Rise higher to the skies higher. Rise higher to the skies higher. Endorphins higher. Feel the fire. Endorphins higher. Motherfucking higher!
Yes.
Yes,
yes.
Rest in peace. That one is for Shabadoo. Rest in peace.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, mother and father funker. See you next year. It's a celebration, bitches.
Do you know what, man? This would not have been the same without you, Mel. You've been on every single. That's what she said. It's a pleasure to see you and have you. You are truly a unique artist, and we love you, man.
Well, can I just say thank you to you and Mark, because you call that radio. Honestly, it's been amazing just to have that there this year. And I've met so many people, amazing people through it, and through the Sunday songwriting as well. Song Seeds. You call that radio? Fucking pay your money, man. Go in Patreon. Don't be a dauber.
How to win friends and influence people by Shelter Bell.
I told you, controversy.
Mate, love you. Right, next thing that's happening, so please do, if you want to become a Patreon, please do sign up. If you're already doing that, we are bloody grateful because we're all here because of that. Next up, we've got Josephine Sillars, and we are going to take a very quick switch around, I think. Let's see what happens after this.
Brothers and sisters.
Is that you, Danielle? Are you before me? Call that radio.
You call that radio.
Hello, yes, this is Dog.
Thanks for joining us here in our flat. It's really lovely to be here on That's What She Said. Thanks so much to Becci for having us. We're going to start by playing a couple of newer songs. The first one is called Unknown, and you might have already heard it because I released it on Bandcamp a couple of weeks ago. So consider this a very stripped back version. And then I'm going to play a song called Happy, which is of my new EP that's coming out next year. This is the first time that we've ever really played it live, but I thought that it would be a nice song to do as well because I wrote both Happy and Unknown as part of Becci's and Rosie Bands' workshops, Song Seeds, which happened earlier in the summer. So I thought it'd be nice just to play them for you today. Hope you enjoy. Me. I am unknown and you're the only one who knows me. I am unknown and you're the only one who knows me. I would rather only say what's true, but what is truth? Just my words against yours. Good intentions don't make for decent conversation, but you're the only one that I would make an exception. My phrasing makes for terrible misinterpretation. This isn't about me, this isn't about me. My explaining makes for terrible miscommunication. And that's all that we're about these days. I am unknown and you're the only one who knows me. I am unknown and you're the only one who knows me. I am unknown and you're the only one who knows me. If you were the light, then surely I'd be able to see. And if I were the muse, then surely you'd have some sensibilities. But my phrasing makes for terrible misinterpretation. And this isn't about me, this isn't about me, this isn't about me. I am unknown and you're the only one who knows me. I am Yeah, so that song is available on Bandcamp if you want to hear like the full band version. Yeah, it's available to stream for free, or you can buy it as Pay What You Feel. Yeah, go check it out. And next up is Happy. This is the very first time it's like ever been played live. Like Jamie, we were just talking about it before, and this is the first time that you've ever actually played it.
Yeah, I wrote it, recorded it, and then haven't touched it
Haven't
since.
touched
so,
it
you
since,
know.
yeah. It was quite weird this summer. The EP that's coming out next year was completely written during lockdown. So usually when we write songs, you know, we're writing them to play them live, and that didn't happen this year. So all the songs were written to be recorded. So learning to play them live has been a bit of a challenge.
There's been no gigs available to showcase them, unfortunately, as I'm sure you're all
very aware. Yeah. So here it is. This is the debut of Happy. Hope you guys enjoy.
What's the point in anything when everything's so small? What's the point in anything at all? 'Cause nothing ever happens here, at least as far as I can fall. Happens here, nothing happens at What's the point in anything when you're backed against a wall? What's the point in anything when you've convinced yourself you're wrong? 'Cause something's bound to happen here. You gotta push until you're strong. Something's bound to happen here. If love can't find you, make you I feel happy to be floating along. I feel happy to be floating along. Do you feel happy to be floating along? You keep your head above the water and your shirt to wash up somewhere. 3, 4. I feel happy to be floating along. I feel happy to be floating along. Do you feel happy to be floating along? You keep your head above the water and you're sure to wash up somewhere.
An American psychiatrist calls it audio fiction.
You call that radio?
to boys I hate. We dance around politeness while holding back on personal space. If there could be a tempest to take me in her embrace, you probably think that I'm someone I'm not, and it's written all over your face. Spend my day off in the dark, just questioning everything. A sweet sense of serenity, and it's all mixed up with codeine. Clear the space inside my head and move the room around my bed. You probably think that I'm someone I'm not, and I wish you'd stop. I don't wanna talk. 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 Do you wanna break my heart? I'll spare you some time and I'll break it myself. Do you wanna break my heart? I'll spare you some time and I'll break it myself. I'll break it myself. I'll break it myself. Cool, thank you. So yeah, we're going to finish up with an old song called Problems with Power. I'm like 90% sure everybody's heard this one before. It's oldie but goodie. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and thanks again for having us. Big shouts to Becci Wallace for putting all this together. It's really nice to be a part of, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show and the rest of your evening. I am looking right instead of left, cause what I can't see cannot hurt me. It's the time of the night where I'm tired and lonely, can't shatter the glass even though I can't breathe. I guess I'm not trying, I guess I'm lying to myself and everyone in front of me. God knows this ain't my finest star, but everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. These cigarettes we smoke, they taste like cancer on my lips. Maybe all my problems would be solved if I pull myself in at the hips. If my legs were taller and my body smaller, I'd be fighting with the rest. God knows this ain't my finest star, but everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. Everything I let go gently. If I drop too hard or drop too fast, I know the shock will surely kill me. Their names are everywhere you look, and I've never been so angry. God knows this ain't my finest star, but everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. When the ego is tempted, it becomes reckless, and I've objected a lot of the time. It's a name on a tongue, and it don't taste like love. Tastes like forgetting my integrity, but I'm still standing and they are still laughing, although all these laughs sound like mocking to me. God knows this ain't my finest star, but everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. Da 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 da. Everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power. Everybody's got their problems with power.
educate our children to take their place in the economies of the 21st century. How do we do that? Given that we can't anticipate what the economy will look like at the end of next week. Every country on Earth is trying to figure out how do we educate our children so they have a sense of cultural identity and so that we can pass on the cultural genes of our communities while being part of the process of globalization. How do you square that circle?
Strange mood of our time.
You call that radio?
Makes coherent sense.
Wow, yes, Josephine.
Whoop!
Awesome, awesome. There's Alan there, lovely stuff. Alan's still tuned in. Oh, there's Jamie. Yes, Mona Birds. Hi, Jamie. I remember doing a gig with Jamie on International Women's Day, and he got up and he was like, "Do you know what? But Mona Birds, but." I was like, "Oh, Jamie."
I got CCTV.
Belters, CCTV, yeah, back up, man. That was excellent, Josie, and so much sound from just the two of you. It's interesting how you were like, "Oh, it's so stripped back," but there was so much happening there, even though that was the case, you know.
Oh, thank you.
It's a pleasure. How about you, girls? Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that?
So good, so good.
So, Josie,
We're all muted, so we're just like,
I know we're all like that. Yeah.
I really love that wee song. That's awesome. I love that piano part. There's Jigsaw Tiger in the house. Whoop whoop. And a belter. Lovely to see you all. Hi, Jigsaw
That's a
Tiger.
class name. Jigsaw Tiger. Oh, I love it.
Class artist as well, man.
I check out our vinyl stories.
Oh, aye, for sure.
Good stuff.
Shout out to Jigsaw Tiger. Kyle King says Dynamite. It's Dynamite. That's that. Okay, cool. Right, tell us, Josie, what can we expect from you? What's happening? When you're going to release? When can we see you, if at all? If you got anything planned?
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say that I really enjoyed the set of Girl Who Cried with Wolf. Well done, Lauren and Audrey. I popped away from the chat because I had a Tesco shop arrive during the show and I was so hungry, so I ran away and had a snack, and then I was watching it on my phone and I was like, I want to go back to the gig, so I've come back. But yeah, I really enjoyed everyone's sets tonight. And for me, there's nothing live coming up, unfortunately, for obvious reasons. I have absolutely no idea when we're next going to be gigging live because we've had more options to do that in England. Like, they've been allowing gigs, obviously not at the moment, but over the summer and stuff. But I don't know about doing it until I'm 100% know that it's going to be a safe and secure situation. But if you check out my Bandcamp and Spotify, I've got a new single, the first one from the EP, coming out on the 15th of January, which is exciting. And then hopefully another single will be out in February, and then the EP will be out in March. So looking forward to releasing all the new music.
Fantastic. Looking forward to hearing it, and maybe a wee album launch, a wee You Call That Radio album launch or EP launch, sorry. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably a thing. Do you hear that, Mark?
Fine,
So basically,
fine.
if you can go and buy Josephine's music, Mel, would you like to let people know that they should buy Josephine's music?
Buy it, or else I'll come and batter you and sing at you.
Just a friendly doing, that's all. A Glasgow doing, just a friendly doing. It's part of parcel.
A nice
Thank
Glasgow
you so much.
kiss.
Oh, God. It takes all sorts, my friends. A wee Glasgow kiss, I've not had that in ages. Josephine, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for your awesome music. And we are coming to our final performer of the evening. Well, I'm really excited that it's Laura, because I've not really seen a lot of Laura over this time, and used to see a lot more of you. And yeah, look forward to hearing you again.
Oh, thanks, Becky. Just a wee stripped back version, gals. You know, nothing too exciting.
Cool. So I just want to say once more thanks for all of you. Thanks to Carrie, Shelto Mel, to Kathleen, to Lauren and Audrey, who are the girl who cried wolf, to Josephine Sillars and to Laura Murray, and of course to the belter behind the scenes, pulling strings, Mark McGee, I think it is, that you call that radio. We love you and we're happy that you platform us in this week. Tomorrow is a You Call That Radio Hug Me extravaganza, where you can really just come and be a guest. I think, it's like 30-second slots. I don't know what's happening. Mark will tell us all about it. It's the 188th and last show of 2020, live from 5 with a host of special guests, kicking off with the Limp Bizkit lyric challenge. Is that right? Which is going to be awesome.
Yes, that's right.
So,
Limp Bizkit lyric challenge with Mandy Clark and Roberta Pia going to battle in a chocolate starfish battle to the death.
Oh my God, I'm tuning in for that. That's for sure. You've got to be sharp for that one, guys. That's 5 p.m. and that will probably be running all night, I'm assuming, through the bells. So, make yourself available. That's all I'm saying. Cool. It's been a pleasure, folks. Laura Murray, you're up next, but before,
Yes,
I quite like to mic drop at the end of a gig. So, it would be, so I don't mean me mic drop, I mean just like let the music play, So please tell us before we listen to your awesome music what you're up to, where we can get your tunes, and how we can connect with you.
So I would say go to Spotify or Apple Music or whatever kind of platform you use. I'm on there, and I'm quite kind of vocal on my Instagram, which is just under like Laura Murray UK, and my Facebook page, which is just under like Laura Murray Music. But you can find me on Spotify and things. I just released my EP in August, 1st of August, and well, I was meant to be having like a kind of music video and things coming to the end of the year, which was quite fitting with everything that went on in the real world of the year. But hopefully next year we can get the music video done and things. And I've got like merch on the way and some new singles as well. Oh, whoop, whoop, you've put it in the caption. That's class. That's some quick on the keys there. Love it. But yeah, so I hope that you all enjoy. I've just done a wee stripped back set for everyone. And also the third song is actually not out yet. It's a song that I wrote like a couple of years, I know, dangerous. I wrote it a couple of years ago. When, you think like 2 weeks and you're in love. But it's one of those songs that like I really enjoy like playing. So I thought, what better way to do it? Just put it on with the gals, see how it goes.
We can't wait to hear it, Laura. Thank you so much. And also I hope you'll return in the new year for some more That's What She Said goodness.
I would love to. I've loved it tonight. Everyone's just amazing. I just love things like this. We should all get a coffee, gals. Let's go and get a coffee. Let's do it.
We will.
Let's do
it.
Soon. Yes.
But not yet.
Not yet. Okay, not yet.
So can we buy your music, Laura, on Bandcamp, or are you just fully streaming that stuff?
I'm on the streams, but hopefully I know. But I'm hoping to actually get Bandcamp up and running, to be fair. So stay tuned for that on my social media accounts. I know. Defos.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I don't want to be like the Maw situation.
It's all right, Becky. It's okay.
You'll get your numbers on the Spotify, but you'll get your money from Bandcamp. So it's
True.
definitely worth setting up, I'd say, and before your release, because it's a good one. Okay, so without further ado, peace and love to all of you. Happy 2021 or whatever. I mean, I think we should just reset it and have another 2020. I could be 34 for another year. And we could just have everything out a bit, slow everything down. Yeah. But peace and love. This is You Call That Radio. That's What She Said. And that's it from us. And here is Laura Murray.
Ooh.
Ooh. A thing's about to happen.
Laura Murray, and I just want to thank Becky again for having me on here. So this first song is a single I released in February, and it's called Letting You Go, and I'm going to try and do a little stripped back kind of slow version for you. I hope you enjoy.
with me? What did it do? Why was I never good enough for you? Now I'm so stupidly helpless. I always made them feel like I'm not enough, I'm not worth it anymore. Pulled me up, pushed me down, I'm on the floor. It's all on the inside, but I'm trying to control it. It's about damn time I face these fears, deleting my feelings after all these years. Killing my demons, cause you don't belong here. After 6 months, I'm finally starting to heal, but I can't understand why you push me away in the first place. I'm letting you go. Oh, now that I'm over the worst, this time I put myself first, cause I always believed that I would always succeed in the first place. I'm letting you go. Oh, it's time and you should know. Oh, I'm letting you go. Oh, promised honesty and friendship forever with you. Now time's moved on and you're so far gone, like I was never you. Since you've been gone, I've found strength I never knew I had. I'm doing better without you, cause you held my breath with no fire. You had me feeling like I'm not enough, I'm not worth it anymore. Pull me up, push me down, I'm on the floor. It's all on the inside, but I'm trying to control it. It's about damn time I face these fears, deleting my feelings after all these years. Killing my demons, cause you don't belong here. After 6 months, I'm finally starting to heal, but I can't understand why you pushed me away in the first place. I'm letting you go. Oh, now that I'm over the worst, this time I put myself first, cause I've always believed that I would always succeed in the first place. I'm letting you go. Oh, but now I'm ready to breathe without you, and now I'm starting over new. After 6 months, I'm finally starting to heal, but I can't understand why you push me away in the first place. I'm letting you go. Now that I'm over the worst, this time I put myself first, cause I've always believed that I would always succeed in the first place. I'm letting you go. Oh, it's time and you should know. Oh, I'm letting you go. Oh. So the second song is a song I wrote with my sister. It's called Proud, and I feel like it's very fitting for these times that we're in. I hope you enjoy it. Holding my head down, don't wanna let you go. My mind is spinning around, don't like the sound of these thoughts I can't control. Now we flash and it's here, but we know you're still here. We know that you'd say, just hold on, cause you belong. That's why we wrote you this song, to help you through your darkest nights, to help you find the light, so you can take flight and help you find a brighter day. We're missing more than words can say. Don't let the past take away the future holds for you. We want you to stay and make you proud of each day. And make you proud of each day. This year's almost gone, but not everyone has made it. This year's really past, but memories will last forever. And you say, just hold on, 'cause you belong. That's why we wrote this song, to help you through your darkest nights, to help you find the light, so that you can take flight and help you find a brighter day. We miss you more than words can say. Don't let the past take away the future holds for you. We want you to stay and make you prouder each day. We'll make it on a brighter day. We miss you more than words can say. Don't let the past take away what the future holds for you. We want you to stay and make it brighter each day. And make it brighter each day.
You call that radio, radio, radio. More like a TV show, TV show, TV show. On almost every night, every night, every night. It's gonna be streaming live, streaming live, streaming live. You call that radio, radio, radio. More like a TV show, TV show, TV show. On almost every night.
I was out that night when you caught my eye, and I had to pretend that it meant nothing. What I felt inside, all these instant funny butterflies, and it's killing me. I can't breathe when you took my hand and pulled me close. I knew that I had fallen for you. feeling trapped. 'Cause baby, it's you that I wanna be with you. You and I, it's a beautiful parade. But I know you don't feel the same, and we can fight in that. We can fall for the wrong ones, but I'd rather be friends than nothing at all. And we're just friends, and nothing at all. And 3 weeks went by, even late night drives, your arms around me close together, and I got to know you for who you really are, and it made me fall deeper and deeper in love with you. It's killing me, I can't breathe when you, it's like I wanna know the kind of love I'm feeling for you. I can't make, no, I can't compare to all those other pretty girls that you could easily choose. But I wanna be with you. You and I's a beautiful friend. But I know you don't feel the same, and we can fight in life. We can fall for the wrong ones, but I'd rather be friends than nothing at all. But we're just friends, friends, and nothing at all.
Amazing stuff there. Brilliant stuff. What's people saying to it? Brilliant night. Well done to all involved, says Alan. Well done, everyone, says my Mimero. Beautiful evening. Absolutely brilliant. Laura, says Alan. Happy and safe New Year. Love jeans, bless you. Faye Baby Doll. Happy New Year, Baby Doll. But it's not New Year yet. New Year is tomorrow. So we'll be celebrating, bringing in the bells on You Call That Radio TV. This is because we hit 200 patrons. So thanks to John Kirsty, Serena, Chris, who signed up this morning as well. Shouts to Chris. And Lorna Reid, who just signed up there. Thank you very much, Lorna. So we're actually up to 202 or 203. Maybe we could hit 221 in time for 2021. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be a Christmas miracle? But whatever happens, we're going to be here from 5 o'clock tomorrow, starting with a rematch for one of the most eagerly contested rematches of the year. Earlier on in the year, Roberta Pia and Mandy Clark went head-to-head in a Limp Bizkit lyric challenge. So we will be going live at 5 o'clock and beginning the show with that. We've done 188 shows. I think we're going to try and get 12 special guests on tomorrow so that I can claim that we've done 200 shows this year, which I haven't. But no one cares, so we can just say it anyway. It'll make it fun. We'll be here from 5 till midnight, beyond that probably. I just want to say thanks to Becci Wallace and all the amazing artists that were on That's What She Said tonight. All the amazing artists have been on the show, all 188 shows this year. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in, everyone who supported the Patreon, or just tuned in to watch, or shared it, or told their friends about us. It's been a very weird year, and I expect tomorrow to be a weird evening, because that's just the way it goes. We'll see you tomorrow night as we welcome in 2021. Thank you very much, and good night.